Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, Drew
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Hey, kind of an odd week in Razorback land. It happens every year, finals week. Happens twice a year. And not much going on, at least as far as games are concerned for Arkansas athletics. So I don't have much as far as getting on a court, getting on a field until Saturday. But, man, there is a lot going on in the world of sports, and college sports specifically. And, of course, you probably saw last night and heard this morning about Mike Leach with a personal health issue. That was what was reported yesterday. Just using the term personal health issue, and taken to a hospital in Jackson. And now an update coming from the Mississippi State Athletic Department that Coach Leach remains in critical condition. This is just coming out about 15 minutes ago. Remains in critical condition at the University of Mississippi Medical Center in Jackson. I'm reading this tweet word for word. Mike's family is with him, appreciates the overwhelming expressions of love and support for the coach. It's the extent of the information that they have right now, or at least that they're going to release. Report out of the Tennessean saying, and this is not the message board stuff, this is actual hard journalism that came out with it, that Leach suffered a massive heart attack and looked like he might have been without oxygen for 10 minutes while at his home after he'd collapsed. So not looking very good at all.
Ouch.
For one of the really well-known and beloved coaches, I think, across the sport.
Love that
it's
dude,
a tough way
man.
to start the show, guys.
Yeah.
Really tough way.
Big fan of Mike Leach. I hate it for him.
Zach Arnett running the Mississippi State football program in their preparation for, I don't have my bowl schedule in front of me. I think they're in the FlyQuest Bowl. The one that Arkansas played in last year, that is under a different name in Tampa. So, man, that's just rough. I'd read, and you heard some of the press conferences with Leach throughout the season, and he didn't really, it never sounded like he had his voice fully. Coughed a lot, scratchy throat, and then he commented to ESPN recently that he'd been battling pneumonia all throughout the season. I know there were rumors thrown around on social media and message boards about Leach either stepping down at the end of the season for health concerns, but that would have been I guess it would have been a real surprise to see him step down. But obviously things take a much more dramatic turn now with this massive heart attack apparently. So it's terrible news to start the show with.
Horrible news. And in soccer, you had Grant Wall that passed away while covering an event and just passed out in his chair. And so it's, you hate it. It's
Wall, Grant Wall, I remember reading him in Sports Illustrated.
He's a longtime journalist, right? Yeah.
College basketball. He wrote a lot about college basketball. I think he wrote the first real piece
on
LeBron James that went national.
The chosen one.
Who's probably the most forefront soccer journalist in the entire country, and what would that occurred during the I think the Netherlands-Argentina game in extra time of that match.
He was at sitting in the press, and he just. I think it looked a lot like how the press is at Bud Walton. I guess is that pretty standard around the world, the press section. That's how they look. So you know how it is.
I guess I saw. Yeah, you could see those little stacked.
But you're kind of spread out. You kind of have
cameras.
your space when you kind of because you have your computer or whatever you have. So it's weird. I mean, nobody. I guess you got cameras all in that arena, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, you hate starting the show with stuff like that, but it's major news, worldwide news as far as the world's most popular sport is concerned, and a well-read journalist. He looked like he was incredibly healthy. I mean,
48.
He was thin. He was 48. He was in perfect health, but who knows?
He had respiratory. It's kind of when you brought that up about Leach, about that he was complaining about some respiratory too. That's what it made me think of that. So I guess it's that time. I don't know. I mean, is that kind of the COVID strain or whatever that is? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, it's none of us really would know which direction to go. It's just terrible news to start with. And then I read this morning, as I'm prepping for the show, that Texas basketball coach Chris Beard was arrested this morning. Arrested this morning on third-degree assault charges by Travis County Sheriff's deputies. Apparently, this is, and this is quoting from an article in the Austin American-Statesman, quote, strangulation of a family member in the middle of the night. Arrested at I think a little after 4 o'clock in the morning. So, I mean, that's another. It's another kind of a mind-blowing thing to read about from one of the top basketball coaches in the country, and one that's got connections to Arkansas and
Matty T.
Second-ranked team in the country is his team, Texas.
And nothing good happens after midnight. It's
just crazy stuff, really. All right, so I mean, those are the three things to start with, but that's not the entire show, obviously. There were good things that occurred over the weekend in college basketball for Arkansas. The men and the women both got wins. It was a really impressive performance Saturday against Oklahoma.
How tough they look. The Hogs look tough.
They looked exciting. They looked tough. And they looked like a hell of a lot of fun.
They weren't going to get they didn't get pushed around. They were the ones doing the pushing. And Oklahoma had some skill on that side. They were ready to fight too, but and Arkansas didn't back down. I love our guard play, and man, it was fun to watch.
Oklahoma came out firing, man. I mean, for a while it looked like they weren't going to miss a shot, and I thought Arkansas really D'd up very well in the second half. Started taking the ball away, creating on the fly, and I mean, look, in the first half, it's like Ricky Council IV just kind of kept them in the game with all kinds of shot-making ability. He makes a deep step-back three. Next thing you know, in transition, goes right down the middle with this nifty behind-the-back move and a reverse layup. It's like, my gosh. And then later on, a reverse dunk on an alley-oop from Devo.
He's springy, isn't he?
Highlight after highlight,
he's
man.
Real quick. He's quick on his hops. He's kind of like a Manu Ginobili when he would go in there, and then real quick, he'll just jump up and punch on you. It's they're fun to watch, Phil.
Women's team looked good yesterday, beating Arkansas State 77-63. So, yeah, I mean, between the men and the women, one loss going into finals week. So they've passed most of just about every test they've had to pass. And both get back on the court on Saturday with the men in North Little Rock against Bradley. The women play a really good Creighton team in Omaha on Saturday for what will be the start of a pretty interesting road trip. And on that road trip, guys, a week from now, on Monday next week, you guys will be in studio. I'll be in Los Angeles. I'm going to host the show from the Rose Bowl. I don't know where exactly in the Rose Bowl.
How cool is that? Jealous?
I know.
Man.
I've never been inside the Rose Bowl. I've been on the outside. Man, it's a huge stadium. But I have one of my best friends that was a roommate of mine when I lived in California before moving to Arkansas. She works for the Rose Bowl. Her husband works for the Chargers.
It kind of reminds me of War Memorial a little bit, because it's a bowl, it's all closed
just in. A bowl.
Yeah, right.
I think you might be able to fit 3 War Memorial stadiums though, inside
right.
the
It's
Rose
probably
Bowl.
a little bigger, but it's the same concept, yeah.
It does. It is. Kind of just a bowl, essentially. So I'm going to head to the Chargers game on Sunday next week. They'll play the Titans, so get my eyes on Traylon Burks in a Titans uniform, and then Monday host the show at the Rose Bowl. I think Aaron Torres will come by because he lives close to the Rose Bowl. He and I have known each other 9 years. We've never met, so we'll pull that off. And then women's team has a couple of hoops games next week. But, it's really tough to. I mean, it's a college football, college sports oriented program on a radio station where all the other shows are focusing on pretty much the same thing. Not just Arkansas, heavy of course on Arkansas, but SEC, national college football, and everything. And I mean, there's really just a handful of coaches that are more famous. You can even use the term infamous potentially, and more quoted, and maybe even more entertaining than Mike Leach. And there's success on top of it too. I mean, pulling off not just winning seasons, but good years at Texas Tech, at Washington State, and hadn't necessarily hit that level yet at Mississippi State. A little tougher to do it there in the SEC than the other two stops. But it's going to be tough to. I mean, you don't have personal relationships with him, but plenty of guests that we've had on the show.
I was talking with Ty before the show, and he was saying how he was at Kentucky in 2000. You remember Hal Mummy and that crew that had Tim Couch? I forget that. So that's kind of his coaching tree, and they were that air raid offense. They were throwing it all over the field. Tim Couch was setting a lot of records back then.
Well, no matter. I mean, if he does survive, if the reports that he went without oxygen for 10 minutes are true, he'll never be the same, and I can't imagine he'd be able to continue coaching. But you don't want to put the cart before the horse necessarily. Hopefully those reports were a little bit exaggerated, but I hope that those reports were exaggerated reading them yesterday on various social media accounts. Now when it's coming through more mainstream media sources, the Tennessean newspaper in Nashville, I'm starting to believe what I'm reading, and I don't want to believe any of this stuff either.
I don't either.
But it won't necessarily be the overarching theme to the show today, because there's a lot to get to, which includes a rather important commit for Sam Pittman and Arkansas football. Looks like you've got your backup quarterback for next year, maybe somebody that may end up starting for you after that in Jacoby Criswell. We'll look ahead to Arkansas men's basketball and their schedule coming up. Is still waiting on a defensive coordinator hire for Arkansas football. Get a little World Cup going in there too. Connor O'Gara joining us in the third hour. There are reports from Brett McMurphy that there might be momentum building for Oklahoma and Texas to join the SEC early instead of 2025, maybe 1 year early. And the New York Mets, well, they pretty much have they've got a payroll that I've never heard before, not just in Major League Baseball, but all in Major League sports across the United States. So all that and more on Halftime, plus your calls and texts. And Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation will join us next, so stay with us.
On Saturday, we run through that A. Nothing else matters except playing for your teammate next to you. And for that Arkansas across your chest.
It's caught, what a catch! Don't let him out of here! We're gonna show them who the hell we are! Oh, you got drilled! We are the University of Arkansas. Let's go Trojan.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters. Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Gray Brothers Equipment understands the importance of your hay crop, and they're ready to help with quality Kubota products like Kubota rotary disc mowers, Kubota brand wheel hay rakes, and BV round balers attached to Kubota's M-Series cab tractor. Together, Kubota and Gray Brothers will make your hay days fun again. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Photo, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
This is Abby with Davis Floor Covering. Get your home or office looking its best for this football season with new flooring from Davis Floor Covering. Whether it's new carpet, hardwood flooring, ceramic, porcelain tile, or luxury vinyl planks, Davis Floor Covering can help you with all your flooring needs with brands such as Bow Floors and flooring supplies from Maupe. And let's get started on beautifying your office or home. We even do countertops. Be sure to check us out on Facebook. Davis Floor Covering with 3 locations to serve you: Fort Smith, Springdale, and Tahlequah. Call 452-4808.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Resetting your password, unsubscribing from emails, printing anything. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with an auto owner's insurance independent agent, getting the right coverage for your business doesn't have to be one of them, so you can get back to more important things, like learning how that printer works. That's simple human sense.
Visit the Charles Osborne Agency in Greenwood or call them at 996-2129.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Oh, I love the way you dance. Oh, how you move your feet. Oh, how you turn your head. How you look me in the eyes, my girl. So, you're a rose pink Cadillac, and I love the way you roll.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Everyone's digging for the crowds on the page. No one knows where it's at.
On a Monday, in our second segment, we appreciate the time of Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation. And with a big win on Saturday and another one Sunday for the women's team and some stuff going on with football, got a lot to talk about. Mike, how are you today?
Well, I'm back at work. I was off for 2 weeks and in Texas, but, you know, it's good. Had to be in early this morning to catch up on some stuff. So I'm busy.
What does being off for work mean for you? Because it doesn't mean you're not watching the games. You're paying attention to what's happening at Razorback. Because we had you on each of the last 2 weeks. I didn't know you weren't necessarily, you called it off. But even when people like us are taking time off, we're still sort of working-ish, right?
Yeah, my sister had a giant TV at her house. I mean, this thing was a monster, and I was able to watch most of the games on that. And then, like with the women, I still have the ESPN app on my phone, so even when I couldn't get those on regular satellite, I could watch it on my phone. So I saw everything.
Do you like watching sports on your phone? Is it a little difficult for you? I do it every once in a while, and you know my eyes are still okay, or I can watch it on a phone. Is that kind of iffy for you?
No, the phone screens is fairly large. I didn't have any problem. You just put it closer to your face. It looks okay. It was kind of crazy on Saturday. I was supposed to come back, and of course, there was no way I thought there was no way I could get back in time to even watch the game with Oklahoma, but I woke up about 3 in the morning, and I was planning on leaving at about 7, and I couldn't sleep, so I just got up and left at 4:30, and I thought, I might be able to get home in time for that game. And I got to Oklahoma City. I'm talking with Jason Carroll, who now lives in Stillwater. He was my former boss. And I'm telling him this problem. I'm not going to make it. He says, hey, just detour up to Stillwater. You can get here in time for the game. So I went up there, watched it at his house, saw the game, and then came on home. So it was like a 13-hour day, but it was worth it. It was fun.
What do you think? I liked Makai's passing. Kind of, he surprised me, and I thought Jordan Walsh looked tough at that 4th spot.
Yeah, they had to have some guys step up. Obviously, with Brazil out for the year, he was averaging 12 points a game, 6 boards. I think Walsh, Mitchell, Kamani Johnson. I think between them they added up to 27 points and 14 boards. And, yeah, there was some good passing under there. Mitchell's really good one-on-one. I mean, even if he's covered, he's got good footwork.
He makes the right play, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, he's real, he doesn't rush it. He's kind of patient. And that's hard because you can't stay in that lane forever, but he just does the right thing. He's got good footwork, and he's able to score a lot of points that way. And, again, I was impressed with the 4 assists he had.
We all want to know, like, how are you going to cover up the minutes from Trevin Brazile? So Jordan Walsh got plenty more minutes. Makai played, I think it looks like 3 to 4 more minutes than he had been playing. Ricky Council plays the entire game. Muss gave Jalen Graham a chance and took him out after a couple of minutes. I don't think he was moving quite the way that Muss wanted him to on both ends of the court. Kamani Johnson got those minutes. And, I mean, it was a short rotation, right? 7 players.
Yeah, it was good. And Johnson just continues to be that guy that's not real flashy, but he's just there when you need him.
Well, he knows how to play defense. Do you think Graham just doesn't know how to? Is it a thing that he doesn't want to or just doesn't understand?
He's just, I don't know, he's been so inconsistent. He had a really good red-white game, and there's maybe one of these games in which he looked okay, but you can sort of I hear it through the grapevine because we don't go to these practices, but I hear Muss is really on him, and maybe he's got his confidence level down. I'm not sure. And
well, it's not. Kamani knows how to play defense, so that's why he's getting to play. So it's clear. I mean, Graham is a better offensive talent. He just Muss isn't going to have it.
Look, I also know, Mike, it's like I've watched Kamani this last year and a half, and I don't remember seeing him get dunked on the way that Graham got dunked on right at the rim. To me, that was just not a good sign. And I see offensively he's just sort of standing around a little bit. So maybe there'll still be a chance for him. But
he needs to know, too, that, like, he's not the number one option offensively. So, we got guards that can score. And Mike, I don't know about you, but I love how willing they are to pass the ball. They seem like they don't care who gets the credit. Like, if you get open, they'll pass the ball to you.
They were very, very disciplined against Oklahoma. Oklahoma was shooting out of their minds at the first part of that game, and Arkansas was just coming down working for the inside basket. And when you do that, sooner or later in the course of a game, you're going to come out on top. And I agree. I love the way they pass the ball, share the ball. Somebody's in the lane, flashes into the lane. You get the ball to them. They're not the only one standing there. Somebody's on the backside because if a zone collapses on a guy like that, and he's got 2-3 people around him, if you come in there and get on the backside of that and he's a good passer, then you got an easy layup. And they do that a lot. Or pass it above, which is what they do. The ball's above the rim, and here comes somebody with a slam, and it's really fun to watch.
And I know Nick didn't play like for the last 5-6 minutes or something. We all get nervous now if he goes to the locker room for any reason or doesn't play, and it looks like he's ready to get out there. It's a good thing we got finals week here. But I got to tell you, it's like, so Brazil's out, fine. That's terrible for him. I think this team can absorb that. This is just an amazing collection of talent, I think, that Muss has put together. I'll tell you what, though. You give me Ricky Council and Nick Smith, and I'd start from there. And it's not to denigrate any of the other guys that are getting minutes, but when I look at Council and Smith's athleticism, shot-making ability. Give me those two guys, and I'll start from there.
Yeah, that's almost half your points right there. And then you can spread it around with the other guys. And, look, I still think there's no way to ever know this, so I'm just going to take a guess because we'll never know. But I think losing Brazil probably will cost him a game, maybe two, somewhere down the line. He would have made the difference in a game.
Yeah, two games. I think two conference games. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. But it doesn't ruin the season. That's the whole point. And that's why you have to, when you recruit the way Musselman does, that's why you need all those players. Some people were saying early in the season there's not enough basketball for all these guys. This is why you have those guys, because when somebody goes down, you've got other people that can step in and fill the gap. And I think that's what Arkansas has to do in football. They've got to develop depth so that you don't have a KJ can't play, he's hurt, and all of a sudden you're going to lose the game. You just can't get in a situation like that.
So Jacoby Criswell maybe fills that gap, sort of. I'm really excited to see Malachi Singleton from everything I've read and seeing some of the highlights and things like that. You needed somebody, I think, with some college experience. You knew you were going to get somebody from the transfer portal. It turns out to be a kid with big-time connections to Arkansas. Of course, he's half-brother Dre Greenlaw. Looked at Arkansas heavily before. It's a great signing for Arkansas. I think you got your backup QB.
I think that may end up being the best thing out of the portal. A lot of people were complaining because, if he was good, they would have gone after him in the first place. Everybody knows why Morris didn't go after him, and it was too late by the time Pittman got here. Now, the other thing is, he never started at North Carolina, so come on. Well, come on. First of all, he played behind some really good quarterbacks, but he's not coming here as the starter. I think they would have not been able to find a productive starter that comes in here to agree to become the backup, because that's what he's going to be. Now, I do think he'll play more than maybe some think. I think they may intentionally put him in more just to get him some experience and just to see if he's okay. Take out KJ if you're doing okay. Take him out for a possession or two and see what happens, because you want to know when he has to go in there that he's going to deliver, and then he may end up as the starter for a year or two.
Yeah, that's big time. You get another Power 5 guy to come in and be a backup, and the good thing for him, he gets to sit out for a year and run that scout team and learn the offense. And KJ's what do you think? He's top 3 in as far as SEC quarterbacks coming back.
Yeah, this is how important this is. Everybody's talking about Dow Loggins, and you can't afford to lose him. And I've even read come on, get rid of your offensive coordinator and make him the coordinator, and you don't lose some of these tight ends. Well, you do that and you lose KJ Jefferson. Come on, that's a no-brainer. You don't make that change. He's that important to this team, and Kendall Briles makes him happy. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. Briles' role in what KJ has done here. Those two work closely together. One likes the other. It works. It's a situation that works. And if he can have some minutes taken away from him next year where he doesn't have to play all the time, and it prevents him from having serious injuries, and he's basically healthy all year long, I think it makes a huge difference.
Hey, Mike, what are you hearing about defensive coordinator? I know I read Ron Roberts was interviewed. This was in Tom Murphy's report this morning. Roberts was the defensive coordinator at Baylor, interviewed with Sam Pittman. He's taken the job at Auburn under Hugh Freeze. There's a lot of other really good candidates potentially out there. Jim Leonard, Jeff Collins. People throw the name Derek Mason, Charlie Strong. What are you hearing? Or if you're not hearing much about it, what do you think would fit?
Well, what's happening is these names get thrown out there, and then nothing comes of it. And then everybody starts saying, well, they're getting turned down. I don't know that that's happening. Guys, as long as I've done this job, I've never heard this happen. I've never heard a coach say, yeah, I interviewed at Arkansas, but I didn't want the job. And then the head coach goes, yeah, I offered him the job, but he didn't want it. That never happens. So the only way you know if somebody was offered the job is when they take the job, and then it's understood. We want him, he wants us. And it looks like this may go on for a little while, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if Pittman's been turned down. I don't know if he's more selective. But there are some things that, I think they're looking for. I think they want to improve the pass rush without sacrificing what goes on in the secondary. And that's why the Baylor coach was so attractive, because he had a reputation of being able to do that. So, I don't have a clue. I don't do that. Otis does that for us. I just sit around and read like everybody else. Oh, God, that's really strange. And it's very frustrating to fans right now, because in the last few days, how many names have been mentioned at one time or another of he's it, and then no, he's not it. It's like 4 or 5, and I guess it's going to go on a while longer.
It's the weird thing about the coaching carousel thing is I never know when I'm and look, I'm not trying to act like an insider about this. I'm not texting agents and texting, administrators and double checking on this kind of stuff. But I just wonder, like, how much that we read is all planted
smoke and mirrors and stuff
by agents, really, just to get their client's name out there. If you get a client's name out there, it sounds like they're interested in him, and then somebody else who actually is doing the hiring is like, okay, this guy's available, he's interested in this, we got to go get him. Sometimes that's what I feel is going on. It's age. We call it the coaching carousel. It's more like the agent texting phone call carousel.
Oh yeah, that's a big part of it with the conventional sports media. And then you've got this thing, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, and I guess they're calling it an app. I call it like an internet group, but these internet groups are popping up where a guy starts a group of fans. He gets a couple of people that he thinks that he knows that they have an inside connection with the team, and then they get in this group, and their whole goal is to have this stuff before anybody else. So a guy will pop up and say, hey, it's this guy. He's got the job. And then when other people start reporting, he gets mad. Hey, I had that first. And then it turns out he doesn't have the job. And then it's like, let's just go on to the next guy, because there's no accountability there. The media, you kind of don't want to be wrong a lot of times on this. But I think in these groups, they don't care. So if you're a fan that reads that stuff, your head's got to be spinning. It's just part of the way things work right now.
I think you might have just described all of Twitter and all of social media, pretty much.
And Facebook.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it sounds like to me. Hey, we'll let you go with that. We're out of time. I appreciate you, Mike. Good to have you back, and good to have you back on the air. Dudley did great filling in. There's nothing quite like Ask Mike on Pig Trail.
Yeah, I appreciate Dudley. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
We appreciate Dudley, too. Today is the very last day to enter to win $15,000 for free rent or mortgage for the year. You only have until the end of the day to do it at hitthatline.com. You'll see the $15,000 sweepstakes button. Click it, put in your info, and you're entered. Winner gets $15,000 to pay their rent or mortgage for the next year. And that's courtesy of real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell, Matt Fowler at USA Mortgage and Mountain Home, and ESPN Arkansas. Do it! And make a call here on halftime. The phone lines are open, 877-377-6963. Halftime, right back.
The world is always changing, and our lives change right along with it. So when you need a bigger space for that gym or remote office, a larger kitchen, or a yard to run around in, your local Weichert agent can help. And when your life changes again, and you're looking for that cozy place for just the two of you, your Weichert agent can help then too. Because at Weichert Realtors, we know that no matter how the world changes around you, we'll take you home. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Got my tent, my sleeping bag, and my snack bag.
Are you going camping?
No, I'm getting ready for Black Friday. I have to camp out early and be the first one in line for the deals. This year, I'm going for a car.
No, you're doing it all wrong. You just need to go to RedRiverDodge.com. They're having a Black Friday sales event all month long.
Wait, all month long? They're having Black Friday deals?
Yep, deals on all new Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep products.
Look here, it says they will deliver right to my driveway.
Well, as the saying goes, at Red River, we deliver.
Hell is a big enough problem on its own. Good Thing Dent Source, LLC, is on the job.
Specializing in auto hail repair from personal vehicles to large fleet, Dent Source LLC makes customers smile one vehicle at a time. High insurance deductible? No problem. Dent Source LLC will pay your deductible. Need a loaner vehicle during repair? No problem. Dent Source LLC has free loaner vehicles. Stop by 2820 South Zero Street across from Play It Again Sports or call 479-337-4443. That's 479-337-4443. Dent Source LLC. No problem.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partners. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out at the web at artriallawyers.com.
Well, it's that time of year again. We're at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. And Tyler, man, we're sitting here looking at this Trimmer Ranger. It's on the showroom floor. This thing is gorgeous.
Oh, Jimmy, it's got that showroom shine. This thing is nice. It's an XLT with the Trimmer package on it, so you get them skid plates, that trail control system on there. This thing is off-road ready.
Somebody wants to come by and take a look at it. I mean, they need to come in ASAP because as good as this truck looks and the way it's priced, it's not going to last long.
Oh, it won't be here through the weekend. They need to come in now. This thing is gorgeous.
You know, you guys actually have some new trucks, and I was surprised. We were walking around outside earlier, and the new trucks you have in stock, it's amazing.
Oh, we've got a little bit of everything. We've got new trucks, new Bronco Sports, new Expedition. We've got a couple of Escapes, an Edge. We've got new inventory here.
All they got to do is just come by and ask for Tyler?
That's right, here at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue.
There you go. Stop by and see us. Hey, don't forget, bring that Toys for Tots gift for us. Drop it off here at our box at Randall Ford in Fort Smith.
Flu season is here, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has flu shots available now to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store still has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 to schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
A couple of texts coming in out of the 479 asking why not Gary Patterson for defensive coordinator. He's just sitting idle as an analyst for Texas. I think he scrubbed all the Texas stuff from his social media. I mean, it's really up to Patterson. Didn't we think we talked with Bill King about that last week? And he's like, well, he's got a ton of money after the string of success at TCU. So it's not that he necessarily needs the job. It'd be sort of the thing that it's kind of up to him if somebody's coming after him, not the other way around. JT in Hot Springs is tired of the fan base making fun of Auburn, A&M, and Tennessee fans for running off coaches and putting pressure on the university to not hire a coach. And now he says Arkansas fans are doing the same thing on social media, I guess when it comes to hiring a coach or a defensive coordinator in this case. We got Pinto on hold, so let's take the phone call. Hi, Pinto. How you doing?
How's everybody? Y'all all right today?
Yeah, good.
Today, good deal. Okay, I've heard Mike Irwin say this 2 times. Heard him last night, and I heard him today. I want to see if you guys agree with it. If Kendall Browse was to leave, KJ is gone. Do y'all subscribe to that philosophy?
I do not think KJ goes anywhere if Kendall Briles leaves and takes another job.
I agree with you, Matt, and I don't. Mike's a pretty sharp guy. He knows a lot of good stuff. He's a kind of an insider, but he's pretty adamant about that, and it just kind of.
Where's Kendall Briles going to go? He's going to go better. Is he going to take a head coaching job better than the OC at Arkansas?
Well,
that's what I mean. KJ. That's what I mean. KJ's not going to go. Nobody. You go 6-6. Nobody's offering you jobs. That's probably half the reason why he's. Who's really trying to hire him?
I think part of it would also be if you were to lose an offensive coordinator with a certain style and game plan and how he works with quarterbacks, and you liked that offensive coordinator, and I think Sam Pittman does like having Kendall Briles as his OC, then part of that would be who do you hire after him? Like it would be not necessarily like a twin of Kendall Briles, but somebody that believes in a lot of the same things about how you want to run an offense or coach.
I think KJ and Kendall Briles are both going to be there next year. I don't know.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. But like I said, I heard Mike say it twice. I think KJ is as loyal, if not more, to Sam Pittman than he would be to Kendall Briles.
I don't think KJ is going anywhere if Coach Briles leaves. I think KJ still be an Arkansas Razorback.
And
I
think we can.
I'm not of the
I think we
opinion
can
that
agree.
Briles is headed anywhere.
Yeah.
We don't think Briles is leaving.
I don't think he's leaving either. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Pinto. And also see in Richard Davenport's column about Criswell's transfer to Arkansas that one of the reasons that he chose Arkansas was Kendall Briles.
Yeah, why? I don't think if you lost Briles and Coach Loggins, that'd be tough on your offense. That'd be a lot of recruits that you'd be losing.
Well, maybe you don't get at that point the guy who never played for Arkansas in Criswell. But for a quarterback in Jefferson who, maybe the idea of loyalty it doesn't mean what it used to mean, but I don't know. I would like to think that KJ views himself as a Razorback. I think he's already basically put that out on his social media, and I don't know. It's a good question to ask, but I don't think you'd lose KJ Jefferson. I think you would have lost Criswell, or you just wouldn't have committed at Arkansas anyway. 877-377-6963. Roscoe in Fort Smith, you're next. Hi, Roscoe. What's up?
Hey guys, how are you this morning?
Doing
What's
good.
up?
I was just checking in to see. Have you heard about Mike Leach?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was the first thing we brought up on the show. There was an
update.
Well,
I missed it. Okay. Yeah, I missed
Roscoe,
it this morning.
There was an update on Leach from the Mississippi State football Twitter account that confirms that he's in critical condition at the University of Mississippi Medical Center in Jackson. And then I read in the Tennessean that it was a massive heart attack and that Leach was without oxygen after he'd passed out at home. So it looks like he might have been without oxygen for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That doesn't sound good. That's a shame. I hope everything comes out okay. I just turned John. I heard that other caller asking about if Briles left, would KJ leave? Here's my question: where's KJ going to go?
Oh, KJ could go anywhere. KJ, there'd be a lot of places that would take KJ. There'd be I don't know.
You mean transfer?
Yeah. As far as in the college level, he could go. There's a lot of schools. KJ's good.
Well, I'll agree to disagree with you on that, buddy. But anyway, he's not bad, but we need a passer, and I don't know if he's, whatever. Okay, thanks, guys. Enjoy.
All right, Roscoe, appreciate the phone call. It doesn't sound like Roscoe's all that much of a fan of KJ Jefferson.
KJ can get better, but I'm saying, what are you gonna? You got a guy that's been a starter here for a couple years now, and he's so this will be his third full season getting a start. Hopefully you see progression. He does struggle with that mid-range pass. That's he gets ahead of himself, and then he was banged up all year. So hopefully it's a non-surgery injury that it just needs some rest and to get healed up. And you get him healthy, and hopefully he'll get a little bit better and working on his footwork. That's how you get that on your medium range passing. You got to have a lot better footwork, and he can probably correct that a little bit.
And I understand he can improve his mid range passing game. There's no doubt, but not a passer and still completed like 68% of his passes.
He's good.
Over the past
That's what
2 years.
Yeah.
43 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
You can't be hating on
Not
KJ.
a
I
passer.
mean, yeah. What are you talking about? It's hard, Phil. Like he's good.
877-377-6963. Hacker and Harrison. Yeah, KJ's doing good. I agree. I mean, I think he's the MVP of the team. Look how bad the offense operated without him in 2 games. What else? JT in Hot Springs doesn't like the idea that a lot of fans think that Kendall Briles needs to be gone. And look, I mean, I think the numbers that they put up, the yardage this year, I don't think necessarily equaled the points. I think they left some points on the board, but they were able to move up and down the field. It's the short yardage situations that were the real head scratchers.
Your red zone offense has to be better. You got it. I mean, the play. I mean, just all around. It starts with the coach and ends up with the players. But you got to start at the top. But you're right. It's like we moved the ball from the 20s to the 20s, and when you had that field goal kicker that you had, that was one of the best. I mean, take your points in the first half. But I think they'll be better. I mean, hopefully they learn a little bit, and everybody gets better.
Maybe Roscoe wanted another Brandon Allen, or an Austin Allen, or a Tyler Wilson. I don't know. Somebody that didn't necessarily run as much. KJ, is he a run-first quarterback? Maybe so.
Those guys probably throw it better as far as more accuracy and do some things like that. Yeah, I mean, but they couldn't run. They weren't as athletic as KJ. Yeah.
Well, look at some of the jumps, like huge jumps forward that older quarterbacks have taken in the past few years.
Right, KJ should get better.
I think he can get a lot better.
He should be better this year, 100%.
Robin Waldron thinks that KJ could be in New York for the Heisman ceremony.
I think he can be first team all conference. I don't know. I don't know how much farther that he could be, but I think he could definitely be first team all conference. I mean, he could be the best. He could end up being the best quarterback in the conference next year.
Yeah. All right, we're going to step aside for a break on halftime. 877-377-6963. Wrap up the first hour next.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and the pipes were leaking. Toilets backed up, and boy, it was reeking. Santa dropped down the chimney of brick, took one sniff, and exclaimed, "Your plumbing smells sick!" Never fear, you can call a team of pipe scholars who'll clean out your drain for just $99. Call Ashley Air and Plumbing, 479-785-1111. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a dry night.
When it comes to flooring, go for the slam dunk. Quality, price, and service are what you want. So score that three-pointer with Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center. They provide free same-day estimates, and financing is available. Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center is your local flooring professional, from flooring to countertops. Whether professional or do-it-yourself installation, score big with Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center on the corner of Wheeler and South Y, or call 289-7111. Hablamos Espanol.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements, plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Hi, this is Melissa Vitale, owner of True Grit Running Company. Your young athlete deserves the best when it comes to footwear. After all, it's good to start early so they don't have problems in the future. We've got options for training, cross-country, gym class, and more. Our well-trained staff can guide your student athlete through our personalized fit process to help find that True Grit fit. And for our cross-country kids, we offer a 10% discount off of your total purchase. Visit our store in Fort Smith, located behind Chick-fil-A.
Sody's Wine and Spirits is making the holidays even brighter for you this year with custom gift baskets. We'll design them with a beer, wine, and spirits of your choice and pair them with a selection of boar's head cheeses and meats, specialty chocolates, or other fun gifts. And have you downloaded our new Sody's app yet? Shop our huge inventory with just a few clicks on your phone, put your order in the virtual cart, then pick it up at our drive-thru and be on your merry way. Just search Sody's in your app store to download. Happy holidays from Sody's Wine and Spirits at Phoenix Avenue and I-540 in Fort Smith.
Unleash your inner detective at the 6 Foot Climb Murder Mystery Dinner. It's the ultimate murder mystery experience where you will enjoy a riveting night of conundrum and peril disguised as belly shaking, feet stomping, side-splitting laughter. Enjoy a scrumptious dinner coupled with some of the best entertainment in the Arkansas River Valley. The 6 Foot Climb is an experience you will never forget. Hosted at the Beard and Lady Inn in Chester, Arkansas. For tickets and more information, go to the6footclimb.com.
United Hail Pros is your one-stop shop auto body repair shop, specializing in paintless dent repair. Locally owned and operated, zero out-of-pocket with free car rental from Enterprise, with a lifetime warranty. Got hail damage? Don't delay. Call United Hail Pros yesterday. 479-309-3998. That's 479-309-3998.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
You guys see, those State Farm commercials where people are getting too personal at the dinner table, that sort of stuff. I'm going to do that here with you right now, because I feel like it's an important thing to let men in their early to mid-40s know about. If you haven't already heard about it, I don't know why. But I'm not eating anything today. I got to do a full day of prep for a colonoscopy that I'm going to be undergoing tomorrow, because at 45 years old, you got to do it if you're a man.
So this is the first time you're doing this?
No, this is the second time. I did it 5 years ago because...
When you turned 40?
Yeah. Well, the only reason I did that is because there's history of specifically colon cancer in my family. My grandfather on my paternal side, who I'm named for, he was Harold Phillip. I'm Philip Harold. I don't know if I've ever let people know my middle name.
Yes, I knew it.
You knew it.
I've heard it on air.
We've known each other for a long time.
That's true.
Yeah, so I did it. He died of colon cancer, 1969 or 1970. I don't remember the year, and I wasn't alive for it, but I want to make sure I'm alive.
Isn't that what just took out Kirstie Alley?
Mm-hmm. That was. You're right.
Matt Jones and I are both rapidly approaching 40.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I saw you, I think you posted on Facebook or something, you had this coming up, Phil.
But if you don't have that in your family history, if cancer or colon cancer is not in your family history, I don't think you got to do it at 40.
Okay.
45 is really when this needs to be, as I understand, an every 5-year thing. So it's like the procedure itself is nothing at all.
Do they put you to sleep at least?
Put you under, and as soon as you're under, you wake up and you're like, I didn't feel a thing. And literally, you don't feel a thing.
You don't have anything to lose but your dignity.
In 11 pounds.
That's exactly right. I'm going to be losing plenty of weight today. If you wonder why in the third hour of the show I turn into a whiny little bitch, It's because I haven't eaten anything all day. It's just being honest here about this.
It's all right.
If I don't eat anything before the show, I get upset. Matt, you're the same way, man.
Yes, sir. We'll play some good music. We'll have the good vibes coming in and out of breaks. We'll have to find other avenues.
I kept hearing a noise that last segment. I thought it was a chainsaw outside. That was actually Phil's stomach.
No. There were lawnmowers outside there. That's right. Brandon, I'm sorry about that. He just texted. He turned 45. Contact your doctor. Honestly, I mean, this is something that I think is very important for men and for women to do.
Isn't there a way? I saw an advertisement. I think you can just go in a box and mail it off.
Is it early? Is it early detection's the key in that? Is that
absolutely?
Yeah,
absolutely. You know, they'll see if there's anything growing inside there and lop it off if it is, and unfortunately, all of you will have to hear me for at least another 5 years.
Because there's another test that you have to get done at 40, right? And it's like a digital test.
Prostate cancer.
That's
might
the one
be.
I'm thinking of. Yeah.
But well, look, I'm going to go at some point. Cancer of the colon is not going to be it. Is not going to be
That's
it.
not taking you out.
I have recurring dreams about driving off bridges and driving off of mountain freeways and stuff. Maybe that's how it's going to go. But it's not going to be cancer of the colon because I'm not going to let it happen. You have control over this. You, listeners, have control over this specific deadly disease. So when you turn 40, if you have this family history, go take care of it at age 40. If you don't, do it at 45, and you're welcome, and thank you very much for doing it at the same time. The day before is sort of miserable, sort of. You basically just turn yourself into a one-way faucet and spend the day doing that. So I haven't started all that stuff yet. That'll be after the show, way after.
You get some electric lights today, Gatorade.
That's right, a lot of Gatorade. Tomorrow is going to be an interesting day because the procedure's at 9, halftime's at 11, and I'm not taking tomorrow off. I might be just a little bit woozy.
We're going to have a good – we'll get through it. We'll get through it. It'll be all right.
Yeah, Matty sounds like he's a little nervous about that.
We'll be all right.
He does. Don't worry. None of the 7 words you can't say on television or radio will happen. There might be, a couple of bubbles and burps here and there.
Tuesday's a good day.
And Monday's a good day, too. It will be. More halftime after this.
Frank Rowe Furniture December tax-free Christmas sale. Frank Rowe Furniture carries made-in-the-USA furniture, including Cat Napper, Jackson, and Best Home Furnishings, just to name a few. Frank Rowe Furniture also carries made-in-the-USA Speed Queen washers and dryers. And December is the month to buy. They have slashed their prices more than ever before and no sales tax. Frank Rowe Furniture wants to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and celebrate our Savior, Jesus Christ. Frank Rowe Furniture, best seats in the house, 405 4th Street, Farley.
Hardee's new Charbroil Double Deals, starting at $2.99 each, have the Academy for New Offerings hailing this double cheeseburger deal as very new indeed. How much more new does it get than the new Bacon Double Cheeseburger and the new California Classic Double Cheeseburger? Not much newer than that. Well, I've got news for the Academy. After this, I'm getting myself a double cheeseburger from this new deal. The new Charbroil Double Deal, starting at $2.99 each at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included for a limited time. Price and participation may vary. Visit restaurant or app for details.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like beer.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see more clouds and sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon into the low 50s. Cloudy skies, a chance of some showers tonight. Overnight lows will be right around the low to mid 40s. Expecting to see rain with a few thunderstorms on Tuesday. High temperatures Tuesday, low to mid 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The loudest stadium I've ever been in is Arkansas. My ears was ringing so hard for the noise. That was a pretty crazy environment.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart up. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, your
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hour number 2 of Halftime. We have no guests in this hour. It is just you and us, me, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Matt Travis, and a phone call or a text at 877-377-6963. Boy, this stuff involving Chris Beard from overnight, it's just craziness. When are I mean, honestly now, it's not just men in power, it's men overall. Keep your hands off the woman, no matter what's going on in this situation. If this is all true, that Chris Beard, what's the term I'm seeing here? Impeded breath circulation of somebody in his family, according to the reports. His career's over, and his freedom will be in well-deserved jeopardy. Again, if it's all true, and you're innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But the Texas Athletic Department, man, is going to have a big decision coming up, probably sooner rather than later. It appears that they have a game tonight against Rice. I doubt Beard is even going to be out of jail by then. Dana O'Neill, a well-known sports journalist, reports that he had just gotten off the phone with Travis County Sheriff Office. Chris Beard is still in jail. Will remain until probable cause affidavit received. Has to appear before a judge within 24 hours of arrest, so he could be held up until 4 a.m. So, I mean, forget about the idea if he's going to coach Texas tonight. He may never coach Texas again. And I don't know exactly the situation surrounding this, but apparently it involves choking or strangulating one of his family members. I know there are 3 daughters, and he's divorced. The daughters were like a reason that he took the job at Texas Tech, if I remember. Remember, he had taken a job at UNLV briefly and never coached there. Took the job at Texas Tech. He's got the connections there, and I think one of his daughters or both of his daughters were there at that time. And then Texas comes a-calling. $5 million a year coach, second-ranked team in the nation. A great basketball mind, but something else is going on inside that mind, apparently. Just terrible. And no updates on Mike Leach as far as that's concerned. Just what we got earlier in the morning, just before the show started. Massive heart attack and still in critical condition, stable condition, apparently, though, at the University of Mississippi Health Center.
Yeah, I hate it for both of them, Phil. I hate it for Mike Leach. I've always been a fan of his, and so, your thoughts and prayers with him and his family. And then Chris Beard, you just want to understand the situation, I guess. You don't really know. There's more to come out.
I'm not ready to feel for him. I'm ready to feel for the family members here. Whoever.
Well, the situation, that's what I was saying.
That's just violence. Come on now. We can never resort to that. And we're getting people texting in what they heard happen, and there's no reason to put that stuff out over the air. We got Charlie on hold. Let's put Charlie on the air. He usually brings a smile to our face. So, hi, Charlie. How are you doing today?
I'm trying to bring some positive energy, Phil. I mean, I've even
good.
called in.
You usually bring that.
I'm trying. I'm even calling from a work phone today, so hopefully they don't charge me too much for calling on this phone. I couldn't go outside and make that call today. We're having our little Christmas party, so to speak, up here, and I was, supposed to bring a blanket, but I'm pretty much the only man that works in this building. So,
men don't have blankets?
What would I do bringing a blanket? What kind of blanket would I bring? I don't think it fits me.
Donnie, roll that window up. I'm going to catch a draft.
I don't think it fits me, so to speak, the party per se. But I'm here. They made me play Santa, so they got enough out of me.
I need a picture.
Anyways, I'll tell you this. I am praying for Mike. I hope the one thing is if he's in stable condition, the thing is he may come out of it, but he may never be the same. Again, we don't know how long. He was in cardiac, if he had a heart attack, how long he was, I know they shocked him back, I heard, but, we don't know how long. And if it was longer than 10 or 15 minutes, that's probably not, he may never be the same again. So, but I am praying for he and his family. As far as the whole Beard situation, I'm not even going to
There's more to come out. I mean, it's not a good situation, but you got to think we're going to find out more, huh?
Yeah, I'm not even gonna. I don't even want to know right now. So anyway, I was gonna say, guys, I was really proud of the team the other day. I didn't get to see much of the first half, but I know they were down as usual, and they always played really well in the second half. And I think they got the lead right before the half, if I'm not mistaken. But I was proud of the way they played, proud of their, how they were able to. They didn't play their best defensively, but they decided to go to another game plan and take away the 3-ball. And, Oklahoma got some layups, but sometimes you live and you live with something. It kind of reminded me of the Kentucky game last year. We kind of lived with Sheeway going off, but we didn't give up many threes. So
yeah, they have talent too. That's kind of what I thought. I mean, Oklahoma, they kind of punched us, and we didn't blink.
Oklahoma's very talented. I don't understand what happened last year and how they fell off the map so much because I don't know if they had some injuries or something. But, one guy I was really proud of was Jordan. I'm glad Jordan Walsh kind of played a little, offensively. And Ricky said it after the game. He talked about just confidence. And, Matt, you can probably speak to this. When you're coming in and you're 18 years old, 18, 19 years old, I know you weren't as highly recruited as Jordan, but you were highly recruited, out of this state. And when that pressure, it's hard, to come in and fit in as a college, because it is different. I mean, you could probably speak to how much different it is compared to high school because you kind of been through it because it's just a different, deal. But I'm glad that he's coming around. Defensively, we know what he can bring us, but if he continues to kind of progress offensively, I'm not saying he's replacing Brazil, but it does help with some of that production.
Oh, my goodness, man. He's talented. He's long. He's athletic.
Anyways, guys, y'all have a great one.
I think you're right on right there. I mean,
he slammed the phone down, too.
Just like Jordan Walsh did. Slam it down.
Thank you, Charlie. Good to hear from you, Charlie. This Chris Beard thing, a lot of people, and again, we don't know who he put his hands around the neck of.
Now the charges
are true.
Isn't the charges specifically for a family member, isn't it?
Yes,
the way
I'm reading. That's what I read.
Yeah.
So at this point, it makes it sound like it would be a female. He's got 3 daughters. I don't know if he's married again, a second marriage or whatever, but again, it's jumping to conclusions is never going to help anybody out with this kind of stuff. But it sounds like a resort to violence at a moment where there's just no reason for any of that to happen, no matter who it is. And if there might have been like a situation where somebody else gets arrested with him, and then maybe the two of them got involved in some sort of altercation, and that, you could say, well, he's defending himself. This is just one person arrested here, one person. So it looks pretty bad, looks really, really bad. But again, we don't know who he might have put his hands around the neck of. But if it's a family member, chances are it was a woman. And if this is the case, he needs to be gone. I mean, it's time to make an example of men that do something like this in a national sense. Don't sit around waiting, because he's going to end up having to be in court for a long time fighting for his freedom. And Texas is going to have to get rid of him. I think that's what's going to happen in the next few days. We'll see. Mark and Barling next on Halftime. Hi, Mark. Thanks for the call. What's up?
Oh, not much. Yeah, what you said is true. As a man, you just cannot lay your hands on a woman. I don't care what family member, dating somebody you're married to. You just cannot go there. I mean, it's just, it's something to live by and everything like that. But we don't know. There's a lot that's going to come out on that, so don't know about that. Prayers to Mike Leach, of course. That's not good. My dad died of a massive heart attack, and it's something that it's when it happens, it's a very sudden thing, and it's not a very easy thing. But anyway, kudos to the basketball team on Saturday. That was the best, most complete game I think we played all year. We played within ourselves, and I just thought, man, if we can keep this going, that's going to be the main thing that will get us through this season.
Man, I thought Oklahoma played well too. I mean, I think that's a team that's got a couple of guards that can score on a lot of defenses. I think they came out. They came out ready to play. They gave the Hogs the best they had.
Yeah.
I mean, the lead for most of the first half. But man, this Arkansas team, I think that you're right, Mark. I think they played their best of the entire season. I think it's tough to continue that sort of. I'm not going to use the word momentum in this case because they don't play again until Saturday. And sometimes this is different matchup to matchup. But look what on Saturday they're going to have another totally jacked up crowd in front of them. I know it's in a building in North Little Rock where they've had some head scratching losses, but this team is just too good right now. I think in front of a jazzed up crowd like that, I would expect them to come out playing well.
They look like they want to play wherever. Like it doesn't matter where they're playing. They just want to go out there and they're having fun.
That's for sure. And one last thing, Phil, I'm with you, brother. I've got a colonoscopy coming up on Friday. So it must be colonoscopy season in Arkansas. Who knows?
I guess that's a thing, huh?
Have a big colonoscopy party.
We can have a big party. Hey, Friday we don't have a halftime, so it's a good day to go under for a little bit, for an hour or so.
That's right. Yeah, and everything. But I'm getting mine done at 6 in the morning. I like being first on the list because my last one, I was scheduled at 1, and they didn't even get me in the room until like 4:30. And that's just a miserable way to be laying around after a miserable day of prep before that. So,
Mark, appreciate the call. Yeah, today it's not miserable just yet for me, but I'm sure it's on the way. John in Fort Smith, next on Halftime. Hi, John. Thanks for the phone call. What's up?
Hey, guys. Prayers for Mike Leach and his family. Obviously, awful situation there for a really good guy who seems like a really good guy, really entertaining and great football mind. So this Beard situation, though, I agree with you, Phil. I mean, the Travis County Sheriff's Office says he impeded breast circulation to a family member, which that kind of tells you he choked somebody out. It's almost not surprising. The guy broke his hand during a UALR Purdue game when he got mad and punched something, and then he also Arterio Morris, who plays for Texas, was given a scholarship by Beard after beating his girlfriend, being arrested for it, and other schools backed off of him, and Beard took him because the price of winning games, I guess. But this isn't all that shocking that Beard has some odd, off-the-wall behavior, and hate the situation for his family. But Chris Beard should be shown the door. But here's what's sad in today's world is, as we've seen with other situations and other programs, people tend to forget when you do some stuff like this, because it's all about winning ball games. And a lot of times integrity and character is thrown out the window, because what matters to a lot of fans, a lot of universities, is winning ball games at all costs. So hope that don't happen here, but could see it happening. So you guys have a great day.
Thank you, John. It's good to hear from you. 877-377-6963. If you have any thoughts on
and I think
Chris Beard or Mike Leach or anything with the Hogs, we'll take your calls.
And I think we're unified as a group, Phil. I think we're all kind of on it together. That
all on the same page with this one.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page.
Yeah, and there is a difference between, when we look at the idea that you're innocent until proven guilty. That's in the court of law. Private organization, even a public organization like the University of Texas Athletic Department, can still see what this is about, potentially, and I'm sure they do their own investigation with this. And, a lot of times somebody that's trying to defend their own freedom in a court of law is fired anyway. So that's what I'm saying. I think that's what's going to happen to Chris Beard. And when one person is arrested in this situation, and there was a violent moment, I don't know, you can sort of glean a little bit of the idea that he could be guilty in this case. But again, we don't know all the details of this. I'm just saying one person arrested in this situation, not two.
And it's kind of, Phil, I'm with you, when it's a family on family, you kind of keep it in-house too, so it's even kind of more terrifying, I think, when the law gets involved.
All right, we're going to cut aside for just a moment on halftime, take a quick break, and we'll come right back.
All aboard the Muss Bus.
We've got to continue to get better every day and have a level head.
Steps back, 3 over Kessler's good.
Everybody wants to compete. Everybody wants to play.
This is going to be a learning experience for a lot of our guys.
They are rushing the court at Bud Walton Arena.
We have a lot of talented players, so we know there's going to be a lot of people trying to prove that they're better than us individually and as a team.
You're not going to keep them off the floor tonight.
Follow the Hogs on the hardwood all season long.
Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
If you farm, you have enough to worry about without worrying about how much more you're going to owe once your current variable or balloon interest rate increases. Interest rates are on the rise. This is the time to check out Farm Credit's long-term fixed rate options. Farm Credit offers the longest terms in the ag industry. Long-term fixed rates mean there's no surprises and your payments remain the same for the life of your loan. That's peace of mind in this changing interest rate climate. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. Set your operation up for success and rest easy. Equal housing lender.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18-month same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters.
Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
'Tis the season to make locally owned Yeager's Ace Hardware your holiday shopping destination. Now through December 24th, Ace Rewards members can buy a Craftsman 2.5-gallon wet dry vac for only $19.99. Or get a DeWalt Drill Driver 2-pack 20-volt battery, orbital sander, or impact driver. Your choice, only $99 each. Not an Ace Rewards member? Signing up is easy and free. Do it online at YeagersHardware.com or at any of our 4 locations. Yeager's Hardware, offering real service with real savings this holiday season.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Take this pink ribbon off my eyes. I'm exposed, and it's no big surprise. Don't you think I know exactly where I stand? This world is forcing me to hold your hand. 'Cause I'm just a girl, a little lonely. Well, don't let me out of your sight. Oh, I'm just a girl, already at my G. So don't let me have any rights.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Take a look and see what happened over the weekend in SEC basketball. How about that Alabama Crimson Tide? My gosh. They've beaten 2 number 1 teams already before the new year. North Carolina is not even ranked any longer, but they were number 1 when Bama took them into 4 overtimes and beat them. Houston's the real thing, though. I mean, that's North Carolina. I mean, they got a lot of the players back, if not the whole team, from last year. But,
is that Kelvin Sampson at Houston?
That's right.
Yeah, he's a good. Yeah.
Gosh, they had him down. What was it, 14 or 15 points? And Alabama fights back and beats them anyway.
I was surprised that Avery Johnson experiment didn't last longer at Alabama. I was a big Avery Johnson fan.
Well, Nate Oates has taken them to a higher level than Johnson ever came close to. A couple of the guys that they drafted, that Johnson brought into the program, but
oh yeah, they had that guy, that guard that went like number 6 overall to Cleveland, and then they traded LeBron. Like he tweeted out, like, "Man, I can't wait to play with LeBron James," and then like they traded LeBron like 2 days later. He went to Miami.
Well, I was looking ahead for the Arkansas basketball schedule. You get Bradley Saturday, UNC Asheville next Wednesday, and then you're playing teams in the SEC that only have 1 loss for your first 4 league games. December 28th at LSU. Tigers are 8-1. It's not like they've beaten all that many good teams, though. They just handed Wake Forest a 72-70 loss. Justice Hill had the game-winning basket with 2 seconds left. Mizzou got exposed by Kansas. Totally blown out at Mizzou Arena. That's Missouri's only loss. You get the Tigers on January the 4th at Bud Walton Arena. Auburn, and they don't have any great wins yet, but that's a talented crew that Bruce Pearl's got. You get them January 7th, and then Arkansas and Alabama at the Bud. Unfortunately, it's a Wednesday night, but I'm sure that place will be completely jazzed up for it. Because honestly, these 2 programs are not big fans of each other. I think it's the same with the coaches.
I meant to ask Mike, and I'll get that. But what do you? So if there's 18 conference games, I had us at 13-5 before the Brazil injury happened. I thought that would be our conference. I think we're going to get. I still think we get a double bye. Do you think we finish in the top 4 in conference? Whatever.
I do.
Yeah. So maybe that's 11-7 now with Brazil lost. Maybe it's 12-6. But I had us at 13-5 getting a double bye.
You got some good teams that you're playing twice. Looking here, you get Alabama 2 times, Kentucky 2 times. So, I mean, those are 2 of the more talented teams in the country that you're going to face twice. Also get LSU twice and Missouri twice. Hogs should be able to handle Mizzou, I would hope. LSU's pretty darn good.
It's hard to win on the road, Phil. Like we talk about in football. We how many times has Coach Pittman got 2 road wins in his 3 years here? 2 road conference wins. I don't think he has yet, and so it's tough. And basketball's the same way. We have that home court record at Bud Walton, but it's tough to win on the road.
But how about the crowd at the BOK? Because these fans travel so well. I wasn't there, but what was it? 2/3 Razorback fans at this game?
The Arkansas fans are the best. If whatever basketball, football, they travel wherever you find them. They're all over the place. It'd be funny. You go to a different game and it's not even Arkansas playing. You'll see somebody wearing a Razorback hat. There's only one Razorback.
I love this little soundbite from Ricky Council and Jordan Walsh.
The last school I was at, I thought we had good fans, which we did, but I'm convinced if we go to Africa, they're going to come through. So it's definitely big for us, and it always gives us a push. I just realized that Oklahoma and us are probably the same distance away, but we definitely brought a bigger crowd, and they definitely help us pull through tonight.
Yeah, simply put, we have the best fans in the country. There's no comparison at all. Like he said, we went to Africa, Europe. They will be there cheering us on, hog calling all the way through. So, yeah, we love them. We love the energy they bring to the game every night. So they're a big part of our winning.
Right. You know Razorback fans are all over the place. I love that.
It's true, man. You go on the road and you play. We played against LSU when I was with Coach Stan Heath, and you show up to the arena and we're down there in Baton Rouge, and man, I don't even know if they had 2,000 fans there, and Arkansas fans are there, and LSU at their home games couldn't even get people going. It's wild how awesome the Razorback fans are.
I am interested to see when the women's team goes to San Diego next week. You never know. I mean, really, you never know. It's like you're going to have like thousands of fans there at the game that are calling the Hogs or anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple dozen that just show up because an Arkansas team is playing where they live, and they're Arkansas natives. I mean, we're kind of spread out all across the country. It's a bit of an Arkansas diaspora. 877-377-6963 to get with us here on halftime. Didn't shoot the 3 great against Oklahoma. But man, it's still getting to the rim as
we just got to be able and capable, and competent, like those. You got to be able to shoot it when you're open. We're not in the right guys, and that's what I think Jordan Walsh did really good as he set himself up to and made a couple. If he can shoot 2 of 5, 4 of 10. That's what you want right there.
I was so impressed with Mekhi Mitchell.
Me too,
impressed.
Right? Like
he and Nick Smith had a little thing going between the two of them.
They did.
That little give and go in the paint. That was something else. And I love that Nick Smith just has this silky smooth shot, but if it's not on from long range, he's still going to create anyway.
He can get to the rack, and he's athletic and can finish in multiple different ways. You know how they talk about quarterbacks having arm slots where you're not always throwing above everybody. You got to slot it in, and you're throwing in lanes, and that's what Nick Smith can do. He doesn't just have a right hand. He can go left. He can go right. He can go floater. He can go off the glass. He's got a array of tricks up his sleeve, and he's efficient with all of them.
I told Mike Irwin in the first hour that you give me Nick Smith and Ricky Council, and I'll start from there. If I was just going to pick 2 players on this team, because I think it's just an amazing collection of talent.
I got to throw in Anthony Black with you because Nick Smith has a lot to work in on the defensive end. He gets lost a little bit with his eyes, and he kind of gets attached to his man when his man's too far away. But other than he's getting better. But Anthony, Anthony Black to me is. You got Devo, Ricky Council, and Anthony. I mean, I saw Anthony Black move his feet a couple times, and the ball. The point guard didn't even want it anymore. He tried to do a little thing, and Anthony just moving it. It's like, I mean, he's so long. Yeah, you're right, Phil. You got to throw in AB too.
Well, I'm only asking for 2, so
I got to take AB. I take AB and Ricky Council right now. And
we had another texter, and I can't remember who it was here that said he would take Anthony Black along with Ricky Council. So
but
what do you guys think out there?
Yeah, I mean, but Nick Smith, he's the real deal if he's healthy. You know what I mean? Like, man, that's tough.
877-377-6963 for any thoughts on that. Hey, you know about Pradco Fishing Lures made in Fort Smith. Christmas shopping season right now. You know plenty of fishermen, so get the fishermen in your life. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue. Because it's going to catch those cold water bass on Beaver Lake. It's going to catch those trophy brown trout on Table Rock or the Mighty White. It's got that famous rolling action, fished extremely slow or worked fast in heavy current. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue suspends, stays in the strike zone longer, and you can catch more fish. Find it at Lurnet.com and tackle stores all over the place. The Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue. Back with more halftime after a quick break.
Once I went to hear them play. Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661. 6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
Nothing runs like a deer because nothing's built like one.
No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Playing pick'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning $150,000 plus in cash. Download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for the correct picks, and climb the leaderboard for your shot.
How she played her games with many, many men. And you tell me that you don't think I'd be with her if I could just have known her way back then. Lord, you ask me why I don't pack up and leave her now that I know about her wicked ways. Well, I doubt that you could understand my thinking. Oh, but listen close to what I have to say. She's the rock that I lean on. She's the sunshine of my day. And I don't care what you say about her. Lord, she took me in and made me everything I am today. She's my rock and I ain't gonna throw her away.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
It was an impressive win for the women's basketball team yesterday, 77-63 over Arkansas State. They are now 12-0 going into finals week. Next three games will be quite challenging. At Creighton on the road, then Oregon in San Diego, and either South Florida or Ohio State the day after, next Tuesday and Wednesday. They made 20 out of 40 two-point shots. Erin Barnum finished 8 for 8 from the field, 16 points. She basically could just take it in on their starting power forward anytime she wanted to do. That's the first time Arkansas State had played a women's game in Fayetteville since 1980. Matt, I don't know if you and I have had this conversation before about Arkansas playing the in-state schools or against Arkansas State specifically. And maybe it's different, sport to sport. Mike Neighbor's opinion that he told me on our coaches show yesterday was he views playing all the in-state schools as good for the sport of women's basketball in the state and good for his program. And they've traveled. I mean, they went to travel to Little Rock, traveled to Pine Bluff. Last year they played Arkansas State in Jonesboro. Now, I'd be incredibly surprised if the men's team ever went to Jonesboro or played at the Stevens Center against Little Rock. Same with football. Baseball plays the in-state schools, but it's all at home in Fayetteville. Mike's taken the team on the road to some of these places, which might be the only program that does that. I wonder what your opinion is on playing the in-state schools.
Yeah, I think it's situational, and I think it's a lot of it has to do with the dollars and cents. But as far as women's basketball, men's basketball, women's softball, track and field. Yes, all those sports. Yes, I think that if they're capable and you should play the in-state, because I don't think it matters as much, in those things. Arkansas State can win every single game in football, and they're not going to be in the college football playoff. So I don't know what it helps you for Arkansas to play them. But in basketball, in baseball, it's different. It's totally. I'm all for it. Yeah.
I mean, you got, what is it, a 31-game schedule for basketball? So you got to fill the schedule somehow, right?
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. It's not. You should play all the. I think it's good for the in-state, and I absolutely love it.
Maybe men's basketball doesn't need that, sort of in-state spotlight that maybe women's basketball can utilize. If I'm trying to get into Mike's mind a little bit, like baseball is a totally different thing. I think it's difficult sometimes for Arkansas to get teams to come in Fayetteville. And the in-state schools are ready to do it, and they do it. They're not really good programs, though,
Yeah.
So they do kind of weight down the baseball team's RPI. And maybe the same thing as far as the basketball teams are concerned. But, man, a couple of years, Arkansas State at War Memorial Stadium. So we're gonna see it. Yeah,
I always thought they would match a bowl game. If Arkansas State was good enough to get in a bowl game, that you would play Arkansas. You don't have any benefit. I'm not afraid of a challenge or an opportunity, but it doesn't do you any good when it doesn't matter. If you want to play them in the other sports, but in football, Arkansas State can win every single football game, and they wouldn't be in the Final Four, so it doesn't matter.
I wonder if this game against Arkansas State in 24 is just going to end up being a one-time thing, a standalone thing. Because you look ahead, it's like you're going to end up with 9 conference games. That's my guess. I think you're going to play a 9-game conference schedule. I think there'll be a time where Arkansas maybe doesn't play ever again in War Memorial Stadium once this contract is up.
I miss that. I always enjoyed those games, and just like you talk about the basketball teams traveling, I love the football games in War Memorial. I absolutely miss that.
What you also have, future series scheduled with Oklahoma State, with Utah, Notre Dame, and everything. And you're going to end up playing at FCS school every year. And then there's going to be another team that's from about the same level, group of 5 that Arkansas State is in. Maybe it's a Sun Belt school, but it's not going to be Arkansas State every year, and it's not going to be Arkansas State every couple of years. The way that LSU plays the in-state schools on an annual basis. Football, I think, is going to be treated and should be treated differently.
It's about the money, exactly, right?
Yeah, and Andy in Mountain Home texts in, and I think he's right about this. The in-state playing them the in-state schools last year might have cost the Razorback baseball team a higher seed in the NCAA tournament. They just weight your RPI downward, and this year they don't have Pine Bluff on the schedule. There is no Arkansas UAPB baseball series. They do host Arkansas State, Little Rock, and UCA. UAPB is a real weight. I mean, that RPI sinks you down.
Did we lose a game
bottom.
to them or something?
No, just playing them.
Oh.
Just playing them. That's exactly right. Yeah, Calvert points out home and home with Tulsa. That's the level. That's the level is Tulsa. That
Is Wichita State still good? They still
in baseball?
Yeah.
Not anywhere where they used to be.
I was going to say that'd be a good one. They're close by, right, for a home and home, but they're not as good. But they're better than UAPB
for baseball. That's
okay,
right. Missouri State too, and I think Mike's right about this, and you're right about it as well. It's like it means different things for different sports. Just because women's basketball plays all 4 in-state schools doesn't necessarily mean that men's basketball should do the same thing. They have fewer non-conference games to schedule anyway. The women's team plays 16 SEC games. The men play 18. And I used to view it in a much different way. I used to do UALR women's basketball. We wanted a crack. When I worked there at UALR, they wanted a crack.
Right.
At Arkansas.
Of course you did, yeah.
And everybody was jealous when Arkansas State's women's team got that opportunity because of the WNIT. Everybody else around the state, I think, was like
I wonder what
licking their chops at a chance to do that.
I wonder what the record is, Phil. I have to look it up. What Arkansas's women and men's basketball team are against their other in-state schools, just in the last 20 years or so. Not years ago, but just in the last 20, 30 years.
It's really just been the last.
I wonder if
2 years.
How many times
been allowed to schedule them?
Have they lost? Yeah.
Not yet.
I didn't think so.
No.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. I'm sure the baseball team's gotten beat 1 or 2 games, but probably not lost a series. Baseball's a little different.
Well, the first time, once the policy came from the athletic department, it was Hunter Yurichek's policy. The first team to schedule in state, if I remember, was baseball, and they lost to Little Rock at Baum Walker Stadium, and it was a bad loss. I thought it was like 17-7.
Yeah.
Little Rock hit 5 home runs, and look, the heavens didn't fall. It wasn't like, the world didn't end. Razorback baseball ended that season in the College World Series, and Little Rock didn't make the postseason. So, I mean, again, it's different sport to sport. Baseball's not football. Football's not basketball. The number of games quite often dictates what happens there. 877-377-6963 for a call or a text on halftime. Hey, one thing actually does work for my colonoscopy prep later tonight because it's got absolutely no alcohol, no sugar, no carbs, and no calories. As long as it's not colored red or purple, I think Lark will work very, very well. You put more jolly in your holly with Lark, a full-spectrum seltzer brought to you by Washita Farms, infused with the perfect balance of hemp-derived THC and CBD. It tastes like strawberry guava, mango, grapefruit, and berry. Works great as a mixer. It's great to drink by itself. Lark's available at your local adult beverage store or go to larkhemp.com and they'll ship it right to you. But you got to be 21 years of age or older to consume Lark. Wrapping up hour number 2 of halftime after a quick break.
As we know it, it's the end of the world. As we know it, it's the end of the world. As we know it, and I feel fine.
Randall Ford's place to be if you do not want a payment until 2023. You like how that rhymes, Andrew?
Dude, I love it. Not only that, they're offering 90 days until your payment, so it's looking good.
I'm kind of digging that, man. It'll actually be warm before you make your first payment on that new vehicle.
No, I can't wait either because summertime's coming, even though the winter just started.
We're looking at this Wild Track you have on the showroom floor. This thing is gorgeous. 2-door Bronco. It's loaded up. Good-looking vehicle, man.
Oh, dude, it's bright. I'm colorblind, but I can still see it. It's, super, super bright red, and you can't miss it as soon as you walk in.
All they have to do is just come in and ask for Andrew Brown.
Come and ask for me.
Do they say Andrew Brown or Kangaroo Man?
Kangaroo Man is a keen tone right now.
There you go. Come by and see us. We're at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Hey, don't forget, no payments until after the new year gets here. Come by and pick out your new vehicle today at Randall Ford in Fort Smith.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and our lips were all blue. The furnace was out, and our teeth chattered too. Santa and his elves were decking the halls. He shivered and said, "It's cold as snowballs." Never fear, you can call a team of furnace scholars who will tune up your heat for just $69. Call Ashley Air and Plumbing at 479-785-1111. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a warm night.
The nation's best home court advantage lives inside Bud Walton Arena. The Razorbacks are back inside the Basketball Palace of Mid-America, and Coach Muss and the Hogs need you there and need you loud. The nationally ranked Razorbacks are rounding out their early season non-conference slate before welcoming the Missouri Tigers for the 2023 SEC home opener on Wednesday, January 4th at 7:30 p.m. If you've got tickets, make sure they're being used. Or if you need some, go online right now and get some today. Flu season is here, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has flu shots available now to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store still has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 to schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Do you have concerns about the integrity of your roof?
Liberty Roofing of Fort Smith and the surrounding area is here and ready to serve you. Liberty Roofing is here for all your roofing needs. Quality roofing services, licensed, insured, and certified. Give Liberty Roofing a call at 650-6231 to get started for a free roof inspection and estimate. Call 650-6231. Liberty Roofing is here to tend to all your roofing needs. Let Liberty Roofing cover you. Check us out on Facebook.
Ho, ho, ho. Who's your Santa, Fort Smith? Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and I'm tired of bad secret Santa gifts. So this year, I'm everyone's not-so-secret Santa. Bring me your old ride, and I'll give you up to $4,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value. That's a whole lot more for your trade. So this season, don't exchange gifts. Exchange your old ride for something nicer and newer from our huge selection of Rath road-ready vehicles, and you could get up to $4,000 more than it's worth. Keeping the car you have? Let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Plus, check out our inflation-beating Meineke vehicle service contracts and prepaid maintenance products. They make great stocking stuffers. So let me be your not-so-secret Santa, and you could get up to $4,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value for your old ride. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Your mama don't dance and your daddy don't rock and roll. Your mama don't dance and your daddy don't rock and roll. When evening rolls around and it's time to go to town, where do you go? To rock and roll.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Wrapping up hour number 2 of Halftime here. Getting to some of these texts that came in. I mentioned War Memorial Stadium. Tim, you're not the only one. I know there's hundreds of thousands, millions that had their first football games at War Memorial Stadium in the 60s and the 70s. You didn't, Tim, though, tell us, how you feel about games being played there any longer, and that you telling us that you went there as a kid 10 times. To me, might mean that you'd like to see more games played at War Memorial. And I'm not opening up that, I guess I did just by bringing it up, the great stadium debate, which was all sorts of fun. And JW in London has called for the very same thing. JW, it's good to hear from you. And I should say, living in Little Rock as long as I have, and I used to live 2 blocks away from War Memorial Stadium and worked across the street for years at Ray Winder Field. I have a real soft spot in my heart, not just for that stadium, but for games played in that stadium and for everything that surrounds it and the way that the neighborhood and the city, grabbed on to Razorback football for so many years. They just don't schedule games there that matter anymore. I mean, who are you playing next year? It's like, what, Western Carolina or something? I don't even remember. It's a Western something. If you have an Arkansas State game there, even if it's a one-time thing, I think it'll be great to finally see the stadium filled up completely. But hey, JW, how are you?
I'm good. I understand people's feelings about football and War Memorial, but it's like you said, the handwriting is kind of on the wall about an old tradition dying, and maybe it's time to start a new one. I hate to be beating this dead horse, but because of the nature of the state of Arkansas, we do not have a NASCAR race. We could easily get one, I think, if we would have the facility, because we have both the housing from Hot Springs to North Little Rock to support the kind of crowd it would draw. And also you could have some dirt track events and that sort of thing. And there would be car dealerships, people like Johnny Morris from Bass Pro Shop. They would be clamoring to sponsor some of these kind of things. And maybe as an old tradition dies, a new tradition will develop. All out in the surrounding counties of Arkansas, in any direction you go, there's dirt track events, there's drag events, and even eventually, I think they could even have a Formula One race in Little Rock. I just think that it's maybe time to embrace another sport and understand that that doesn't detract from college football and Razorbacks, because we're all going to be Razorbacks till the day we die. But I just think maybe it's time to be looking in some different directions. But, that's not my call. I don't make those kind of decisions. But the way I see it, because there's other performing arts venues in the big stadium there in North Little Rock as far as concerts and that sort of thing goes, and you've already got a fine minor league ball team facility there, I just think they need to be exploring some of these avenues. And who knows, like I said, I may be, because I come from a racing family, I may have my own prejudices about this, but I know a lot of people who would not hesitate to drive an hour and a half, 2 hours to see a top, and even further, to see a top-name race. There are people from Texas that would drive, from Kansas City, from all through Mississippi and Tennessee, who would drive to that, which is good for the local economy, and I think in the long run, good for the state of Arkansas. But anyway, love your show. I listen every day.
Thanks, JW. We appreciate your calls and thoughts here. It's like, well, I mean, that's a stadium that's right in the middle of that city.
That's a sport I don't know anything about, Phil.
I don't either. What's the closest?
Crawford. I've been to Crawford County Speedway, and then there's one right over there in Oklahoma, like right across the. I've been one time. I mean, it was pretty cool. I mean, it was.
You know the one that right there, kind of at the border of Saline and Pulaski County, the I-30.
Yeah. Didn't they shut that down? Or I don't want to speak out of school.
I don't know. I used to drive by it all the time.
But Phil, so you remember just in the time that you worked at Ray Winder Field and everything. So from my childhood, I just watched that area decline. When I was a kid, there was also an amusement park across the street. There were the golf courses and everything. Haven't they shut the golf course down too?
Yes.
Yeah,
so that's what I mean. So
is
that
done.
whole area just and in the ballpark. Since from the time I was a kid, that was a big popular area where go ride the carousel and go across the street to the zoo, the baseball park. And so now it's like you don't even have the golf course.
So what are they going to do with the golf course, you think? Are they going to try to ever have a golf course again, or?
I haven't. See, I've been out of touch now the last few years.
When I went down there and did the show, what was that, Thursday and Friday with Phil? I drove past it, and it wasn't all grown up, but you could tell it hadn't been manicured in a while. Like it's
been 3 years since I've been.
Yeah, right.
But Matt, part of this conversation, we haven't even brought up the idea of what it's like to play there, and the feelings that might have.
It's different
brought inside of you.
It is, and Coach Nutt was a Little Rock guy.
Yeah,
he was a Little Rock guy, Phil, and it meant a lot to him. It meant a lot to us, and it was different. The fans, they were kind of cheering. They didn't sit on their hands as much, They didn't get it. They don't get to see the Hogs. They're not as spoiled, so it's a little different group. A lot of those smaller towns that, and I guess it was put before the interstate was to get up the hill. That now everything's they can get up the hill now. Yeah.
And all those situations, lack of televised games back then. Things have changed dramatically.
That's right.
Dramatically. That's why it's really not much of a debate any longer. It's just understood. And understood that a third hour of halftime is coming up right after this.
Frank Grove Furniture December tax-free Christmas sale. Frank Grove Furniture carries made-in-the-USA furniture, including Catnapper, Jackson, and Best Home Furnishings, just to name a few. Frank Grove Furniture also carries made-in-the-USA Speed Queen washers and dryers, and December is the month to buy. They have slashed their prices more than ever before and no sales tax. Frank Grove Furniture wants to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and celebrate our Savior, Jesus Christ. Frank Grove Furniture, best seats in the house, 405 4th Street, Farley.
Ride without compromise. CF Moto's brand new U-Force 1000 XL with 2 3-person bench seats to haul more rear ends as you haul butt. Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma has the perfect CF Moto for any road you choose. Get some serious mud on the tires with aluminum rims, custom paint, power steering, and a 3,000-pound winch. No wonder the CF Moto is Auto Finders' best-kept dirty little secret. Ride without compromise at Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma in Roland. Visit a complete list of inventories online at autofindersok.com. Your search ends here.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Lesson 86. This is how you say, gee willikers, it's a hot one. Let's cool down with some Bud Lights. And that's it for today. Bud Light, crisp.
Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hardee's new Charbroiled Double Deals, starting at $2.99 each, have the Academy for New Offerings hailing this double cheeseburger deal as very new indeed. How much more new does it get than the new Bacon Double Cheeseburger and the new California Classic Double Cheeseburger? Not much newer than that. Well, I've got news for the Academy. After this, I'm getting myself a double cheeseburger from this new deal. The new Charbroiled Double Deal, starting at $2.99 each at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included for a limited time. Price and participation may vary. Visit restaurant or app for details.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. Go Paschal.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see more clouds and sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon into the low 50s. Cloudy skies, a chance of some showers tonight. Overnight lows will be right around the low to mid 40s. Expecting to see rain with a few thunderstorms on Tuesday. High temperatures Tuesday, low to mid 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
2 seconds, 1 second, he lets fly with a shot.
From the Busch Light Studios, this is ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Yes, sir. Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that back,
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Hour number 3 of halftime. Got room for calls and texts in this segment. 877-377-6963. Connor O'Gara coming up in the next segment. We'll certainly be talking Mike Leach with Connor O'Gara. No updates since the last time we brought it up. Mike Leach suffered a massive heart attack yesterday, late last night. Reports say that he suffered seizures. He was without oxygen for about 10 minutes, and right now is in critical condition at the University of Mississippi Health Center in Jackson, Mississippi. So there's just little details starting to squeak out from reputable sources, but it just does not sound very good at all for one of the. Can we use the term beloved? I think so. I think so when it comes to Leach. I think people are at least.
I don't think it was a like him, hate him. I think everybody, maybe you didn't understand him or he's a little quirky, but I think everybody loved him.
Over the years, I always had a fun time getting his sound bites.
I'd have loved to play for him.
He always had him, and people they knew it's like we're gonna ask him an off the wall question and see what he's gonna say.
But he was sharp. He was funny.
And he would engage him in.
Yeah, I loved him. Yeah.
He wasn't somebody you thought this guy's a jerk or anything.
Remember we had Neil Price.
Right? You want to go have a beer with him, right? And listen to his stories. Yeah.
Get his advice on where to vacation.
Yeah. What do you think on weddings?
Yeah, and absolutely. What do you think on dinosaurs and everything? Even if you don't ask the question, sooner or later, something like that's going to come up in an answer that might have started with football and gone into something completely different. So he done a whole thing on candy corn, you know? I mean, I read The Athletic did an interesting piece on him at the start of the football season about the quarterback meetings that he had. I think at Texas Tech and at Washington State, and some of the quarterbacks were sitting there like he didn't even talk about the game with us right here. He was just espousing theories and basically just conversing with him, or he was doing most of the talking, and sometimes it didn't have anything to do with football. And then there obviously, the exit from Texas Tech was
that was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird.
It was kind of like the same thing with who's the guy that came out with the tweet, and that kind of he was joking, like saying you're soft and stuff. But I think he had a way to motivate players and a way to get the best out of them.
Well, and you refer to Dylan Johnson, who announced his transfer away from Mississippi State with kind of a shot at Leach, and I think even he, tweeted, prayers for Mike Leach as well. The Texas Tech Twitter account did the same thing with the hashtag Swing Your Sword, which I think is the name of his book or one of the books he's written in a personal motto that he's gone in on. So if anything pops up about that at some point soon, we'll pass the news along. Otherwise, I saw a report from Brett McMurphy. And remember, I didn't believe the last report that I saw from McMurphy about Missouri being offered the Liberty Bowl, but saying no, they didn't want to play Kansas, or maybe because they had a home basketball game that night against Kentucky, that they didn't want to play a bowl game the same day. Arkansas basketball is on the road at LSU that night. It'd be interesting though. Like, if you're an athletic department that sells out your home basketball games, and there's a chance that you can play in a bowl game that's within driving distance, do you want to play in that bowl game? You want your 19,000 plus at Bud Walton for Arkansas LSU. You don't have to worry about that because that game's at the PMAC. So worry about LSU filling those seats, which I'm sure they will. But McMurphy's latest report says that there is momentum building for Oklahoma and Texas to join the SEC early. They're supposed to join by 2025 because of the grant of rights that they gave to the Big 12, and I think the number was $85 million, kind of close to Jimbo Fisher's buyout that they'd have to spend in order to get out of that. But apparently there's momentum building to get OU and Texas into the SEC a year earlier. It's already going to be awkward next year because the Big 12 is bringing in BYU, Cincinnati, South Florida, and I think there's another school I'm forgetting, but I know there's another one. So it's like they'll have this weird fluctuation. I think if you're the SEC, I think you want to get them in here as soon as you possibly can to counter what's going to happen in 24, which is the Big Ten gaining UCLA and USC. So, I mean, I say get them in here as soon as possible. Let's get the lay of the land to where it is going to be, to where eventually college sports is moving to. And this whole 2-year waiting period, understood that there's money involved in it, and maybe it is or maybe it isn't, just a drop in the bucket for the amount of money that some of these athletic departments have. But I think it would make so much more sense to get Texas and OU into the league right now, rather than waiting a couple of years and then see what happens after that. Because I don't think these leagues will be done expanding in the near future. What did you think, Matt, when you saw Texas and Oklahoma had signed to join?
What took so long?
SEC?
Yeah,
really.
What's taking so long? We all kind of knew the way it was going. I think eventually you'll have. I don't know how you're going to have 20. If you have 20 or 22 teams in the SEC, you have 2 11-team divisions or 2 10-team divisions. You're going to have 20 teams, I bet, and you play your 9. I think that's what you're going to have in the Big Ten, the Pac. I think everywhere is going to kind of go to that motto. So get in the SEC. It's the Big Ten. What do you think the second best? That's my thing. I think the Big Ten might be the second best conference out there when you look at some of the talent, and the Big 12 and Pac-12 is just kind of lacking behind.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. And look, the folks in the Big Ten will try to poke the idea that because they've got 2 teams in the college football playoff and the SEC does not, then that means the Big Ten is the better league.
No, that
not sure
division.
If I'm ready to go in that direction.
Yeah, that other division this year, Phil, that was kind of garbage. That was not. They were top heavy, and that's not to say that. Hey, there's nothing wrong with silver polish. But you're silver. You're on the podium. Nobody's debating that.
Yeah, but you know how it goes. Silver might be good enough for.
Did you see
the first time at the Olympics? But then you want gold.
Do you see this? Houston Nutt and Scott Frost coaching off against each other in the. It says December 21st, I guess.
In what?
They're coaching in like a U.S. Army Bowl. Scott Frost will be the gold team, while Houston Nutt will be the black team.
Interesting.
Dallas Cowboy Field.
It's been over 10 years since Houston Nutt coached last. I mean, this is different, obviously. It's sort of an all-star game, but Scott Frost was fired in September. This is somebody that I'm assuming, is kind of like looking for the next coaching job, even though he's being paid a nice sum for a buyout, like for
$15 million, I think. I think if he takes a job, it goes to 7.5 or something.
Which all-star game? This is an all-star game?
Yeah, I just saw it's the Army. It's the black and gold. It's in Dallas Cowboys Ford Center in Frisco, Texas. High school. It's the top high school talent. So it'd be kind of like the Under Armour game, or I guess they have like 7 or 8 of these games going around the country.
Yeah, and you can't have current college coaches.
Coach Nutt's perfect for that, man. He's gonna have I'm gonna have to check that out, man. I mean, that's gonna be fun. I don't know exactly what day this is. I guess I keep looking, but it says 2 different dates. I don't know.
I want to be there for his pregame hype speech to these kids.
Yeah.
Because they probably, I don't know. Heck, I mean, it was just a few weeks ago we were able to get a Coach Nutt hype speech to a group of Razorback fans that were in Auburn for the Auburn football game, and on Cameo, and it was still a pretty darn good one. I mean, it was almost like he was in the locker room there with you, Matt. Those guys are ready with their hair on fire.
He can get it going, can he? He gets you going, man. He's I think it's this Saturday. I don't know, so we'll see.
877-377-6963. All right, let's break because Connor O'Gara is coming up in the next segment. We got another giveaway going on. You only have one more. Today is the last day to sign up for free rent or mortgage for a year at hitthatline.com, but you still got 6 days. The Champion Cycling Bicycle Giveaway, giving away 1 adult bike, 1 kid's bike at hitthatline.com. Free bike link at the top of the page. You click it and leave your info on the next page. It's as easy as that. The winners will be announced on the Morning Rush early next week, and that's brought to you by Champion Cycling of Fort Smith. They're at 5500 Massard Road in the Fort, or online at championcycling.com. And you can call them at 479-484-7500. We're going to get into more college football. Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South joins halftime next.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Well, Tommy, I'm starting to catch on to some of this wisdom from you, man. I'm taking it.
Oh, man. Charlie's giving me some praises and his cell phone's breaking up.
What was he saying?
Something about how smart and good looking I was. And I sounded taller on the radio. Something along those lines, I think, is exactly what Charlie was trying to tell the world.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
The Big Ten is up and filled with lots of Christmas gift savings at Jelco Outdoors. Hey Dude shoes for men, women, and children. Buy 1 pair, get the second pair 50% off. Mossy Oak clothing by Paramount and Remote, 50 to 75% off original price. Select hang-on ladder and climbing tree stands, 20% off. And casual clothing, save up to 50% off. Don't miss the Big Tent sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. Shop local, shop Jelco Outdoors.
Gray Brothers Equipment understands the importance of your hay crop, and they're ready to help with quality Kubota products like Kubota rotary disc mowers, Kubota brand wheel hay rakes, and BV round balers attached to Kubota's M-Series cab tractor. Together, Kubota and Gray Brothers will make your hay days fun again. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Photo, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers wants to help feed your family this holiday season. Have the pros at Art's smoke or deep fry your turkey or smoke your ham. Art's has affordable packages available for any size family or crowd. Or drop your turkey or ham off and Art's will take it from there. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, much more than their famous barbecue and burgers during the holiday season. From turkey to desserts, Art's Barbecue and Burgers, next to Buddy's on Rogers Avenue at Fort Smith.
With over 8,000 square feet of all the latest trends in lighting and plumbing fixtures, Great House Fixtures has all the brands you know and love, such as Visual Comfort Lighting and Delta Faucets. Their experienced staff can help you design and select the perfect fixtures for your uniquely you home, including sinks, tubs, faucets, custom showers, indoor and outdoor lighting, chandeliers, mirrors, hardware, and more. Make your house a great house. Learn more at greathousefixtures.com, located on 0th Street in Fort Smith. Great House Fixtures by J&B Supply.
Ocker Funeral Home knows that thinking about the inevitability of one's death is a subject that few like to consider. For many, actually moving ahead with their pre-planning or prepaying for their funeral is even more difficult to act on. With a large number of options available today, it's important to speak to someone you can trust. Ocker Funeral Homes in Van Buren, Alma, and Fort Smith, serving the community for over 100 years. Call 474-2523 for an appointment.
Fishing never stops. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle has everything from jigs to raincoats, Todd Huckabee crappie rods, Bobby Garland crappie jigs, and stay warm and dry with a River West rain suit, the area's largest selection of Zoom plastics, Flash Mob Jr., Kitech swim baits, Mega Bass rods, plus rattle traps, life jackets, and rod and reel repair. Find all the top brands and everything you need at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 1 mile east of I-540 on Highway 64. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
It's Christmas time in the River Valley. Road Chevrolet in Van Buren is partnering with the United Way 100 Families Initiative for Road's annual Angel Tree. Imagine waking up with no food, toys, or the feeling of hope and joy that Christmas brings. Please choose an angel from our tree at Road Chevrolet. Or if you don't have enough time in your day, we will shop for you. One small act of love can bring joy to a child this Christmas. Call or stop by Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway, Van Buren today.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! 1, 2, 1.
Fly so swift, rain won't lift, gate won't close, the railing froze. Get your mind off winter time, you ain't going nowhere.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Mondays in the third hour means we get to talk with Connor O'Gara, national columnist, Saturday Down South. And Connor, it is, all the things that happened over the weekend, college football, Army-Navy, great game, Heisman Trophy awarded. You got our All-American teams have been announced. Bowl season starting on Friday. All of that right now is just taking a total back seat to the health and condition of Mike Leach, somebody that I know you've written about at extensive length. So it's a tough day for those who follow college football closely and appreciate one of the really true personalities and one of the great coaches in the game.
Yeah, it'd be really hard to, and I don't mean to say this in the past tense without knowing the full extent of what he's currently going through, but it'd be really difficult to come up with a list of more than 5 people who have had a bigger impact on the sport of college football in the 21st century. Like, if you're coming up with that list, Mike Leach is on it, and not just because he was really entertaining to listen to at press conferences, but because of what his offense has been in this sport. And, how does change come? It comes from people who are willing to think differently. And Mike Leach, sometimes to a fault, but to his credit, did that for so much of his career. And so to see this all of a sudden happen over the weekend where you're just like, wait a minute, what? Like, this situation just kind of came out of nowhere. I think it caught a lot of people by surprise. And now we're just kind of left wondering, like, all right, so what's the aftermath going to be if he's able to pull through, and what would that look like? And there are just so many questions that I think a lot of people have. But, this last 24 hours, I think it's been a good time for those of us who have studied and watched the sport and watched the impact that Mike Leach has had to be able to appreciate those things. And I know I find myself, like, earlier today, I'm going back and I'm watching a 60 Minutes piece that was done. And this morning I listened to an hour-long podcast that he did when he was at the Sloan Conference with Michael Lewis back in 2019. Like, these things that, we forget about how impactful certain people are in the sport. And Mike Leach, his legacy, we don't want to say that it's over yet. I think it's a good time to remember just how impactful he's been and the amount of lives that he's impacted.
Yeah, I guess it's probably best to just kind of leave that there, because there's no reason to speculate, or like what happens next with Mississippi State football. But it does sound like for now, I know Zach Arnett has not ever been an interim coach or an interim head coach or a head coach in college football, but he's a good football mind. It's just he's on the, Leach is the offensive guy, and Arnett is a defensive guy. So, and they've got a plan for a bowl game coming up here. So I just can't even imagine what it's like inside that athletic department that's still trying to hire an athletic director too.
Yeah, talk about a lot of moving pieces right now. Just crazy to see this. And that was the first thing that when you saw yesterday that Zach Arnett had been named interim coach, you're like, wow, okay, this is not just a coach who's going in for, a minor health scare or something like that. That kind of lets you know the seriousness of this and how quickly this has happened. And now a program that, like you said, is still trying to hire an athletic director. It's still trying to figure out what exactly these things are going to look like. It's going to have to turn to Zach Arnett. And Zach Arnett, in the time being, is going to be asked to do something that very few people in this profession are ever asked to do. And, this is kind of one of those, figure it out as you go type situations here. And it's going to be very interesting to see what develops from Mississippi State. But I know a lot of people right now are kind of waiting on bated breath to see what exactly the next step is with Mike Leach.
Looking at the transfer portal, was it Jacoby Criswell? What do you know about him?
That's a good question. So I'm still trying to catch up on transfer portal guys, to be honest with you. Like that to me is like one of those things there. Like when I see all these things actually get settled, that'll be a little bit of a different story. But if you played at North Carolina, you think, okay, you understand some of these modern concepts, what Phil Longo likes to do. Phil Longo now at Wisconsin, which is just a really weird fit with the type of offense that he's typically run. If you go back to what he was doing at Ole Miss, you know that that's a team that's going to throw the ball a ton. If your biggest thing is you weren't as good as Drake May, I don't really know a lot about you. I don't.
Yeah.
You could be great, and you know, like you can have an opportunity to succeed. But to me, yeah, that obviously makes a lot of sense, and it was pretty obvious that you were going to see a player of that caliber in that situation with Drake May coming back. It was pretty likely that you were going to see somebody like that want to leave. And now, obviously, Arkansas had a vacancy. They were going to be adding a portal guy no matter what, because the way this played out with Malik Hornsby going into the portal, KJ Jefferson coming back. So this isn't necessarily a situation where we're like, oh, hey, what's he going to do to challenge for the starting job? Like, you need depth, and getting somebody who was a four-star recruit who couldn't beat out Drake May for a starting job. There are opportunities that are going to be had there. It'll be interesting though, because obviously from the system that he came in, it's going to be very different to operate in the Kendall Briles offense compared to what he operated in before. But you like the fact that he has familiarity with spread concepts, and it's kind of one of those situations where you wait and see. And if you're Arkansas, you take a chance on somebody like that, and you hope to groom him along and become maybe the guy that can replace KJ.
Yeah, I mean, he backed up a guy who was now in the NFL, and Sam Howell, and then backs up the ACC Player of the Year. It's kind of a little difficult to break through, I think, in some cases here. I want to ask what you think about the hires that Hugh Freeze made at Auburn. Philip Montgomery will be the offensive coordinator, former Tulsa head coach. I think he'll make more money as the Auburn OC than he was making as the Tulsa head coach. And Ron Roberts, longtime defensive coordinator, most recently at Baylor. We'd read that Roberts might have interviewed for the Arkansas defensive coordinator job. So what do you make of these two hires?
Yeah, I'm really high on them. I am. And I think, the first and most important hire that Hugh Freeze had to make was making sure Cadillac Williams was still going to be on his staff, and him being able to do that kind of speaks to the success that he's had so far in assembling a staff. And we talked about that a lot with Sam Pittman. It was going to be, all right, well, what are you able to do in terms of hiring a staff and putting experienced guys around you? Because that's what this job comes down to so much. And going out and getting somebody like Philip Montgomery, who has a lot of experience in the Baylor offense, that's kind of the way the SEC is trending right now. I mean, there are different variations of it at places like obviously Arkansas and Ole Miss and Tennessee, and we're seeing all of these disciples of this offense, and there are air raid principles to it, but obviously nobody's going to call that the air raid in the Mike Leach sense, so to speak. But I think that, it allows you to operate kind of as a CEO if that's what Hugh Freeze wants to do. And that's what Tennessee does with Alex Golesh and Josh Heupel, and Alex Golesh is now at USF. But it kind of allows you to be the CEO, and that's what I think Freeze is going to look to do, and not necessarily be the primary play caller a la Jimbo Fisher, also trying to do that while juggling head coaching duties. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And then seeing somebody like Roberts, who before he worked under Dave Aranda was also working under Billy Napier, and turn around that Louisiana defense. I mean, they were a top 20 unit, just like that all of a sudden. I mean, they were outside the top 100 in the country in year two. They really turned it around, had a much better year in 2019. He had total autonomy on that side of the ball. So somebody that is going to be really valued there, and, would have been a nice fit probably at Arkansas, but he's going to get an opportunity to work with some pretty top-end talent, I think, at Auburn with what they're going to be able to do in the portal. And it's, a nice way for Hugh Freeze to kind of get things started after a very awkward introduction to his new digs at Auburn.
Connor, is there any chance the Big Ten was better than the SEC this year? They got two teams in the playoff. SEC has one. Looking at the breakdown of the All-America teams, Big Ten had 7. The SEC had 6. SEC did not have a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. I wonder what you think.
I think there are a couple ways to look at it. There's a possibility that a Big Ten team wins a national championship this year. That's on the table, I think, and that's something that hasn't happened since 2014. I mean, after Ohio State won that first playoff championship, the Big Ten has won a total of 1 playoff game since then. So I think before we say the Big Ten is definitively the best conference in college football, I think we need to try and answer, are we talking about depth? Because from a depth standpoint, I mean, 3 teams in the top 25, and that's pretty much been it for most of the year. I mean, it's been Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, and then in some order, and that's pretty much been the extent of it. I mean, Penn State is going to a New Year's Six Bowl despite the fact it doesn't have a win against a team that's currently in the top 25 or anybody that's particularly close. And I think that if you're going to knock the SEC for its depth for all these years that it had Alabama and everyone else, you kind of need to do the same with the Big Ten. I don't really know that the depth is there. I don't know that there's a ton of separation in the middle of the pack, and maybe that's kind of what's contributing to this. We'll play the results with bowl season, even though that's never been dumber to do that, because we have all these opt-outs, we have all these coaching changes. So to me, in the portal and the way that it's set up, it doesn't really answer the question, in my opinion. Even if the Big Ten gets 2 teams in the national championship, that just means the Big Ten had better top-end talent than the SEC this year.
Yeah, I kind of wonder. I mean, do you ever look at it? So you say, all right, put Michigan against Georgia, put Ohio State against Alabama. Maybe they'll get a chance to play him maybe later on. Put Penn State against Tennessee. What about putting Northwestern against Vanderbilt or Rutgers against A&M this year? Is it more about the bottom, or is it really more about the top?
I mean, if we want to break down Rutgers, Andy, I'm here for it. Look, college football junkie, I watched that game. That's a Sickos committee game. I'd be all for it. There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. More college football is better, but look, it's still going to be defined by how those top 3 or 4 teams do, and that's what this all comes down to. I'm more interested kind of in the playoff New Year's Six Bowl combination, because that's usually, and I say usually somewhat loosely now, where you're seeing teams prepare with 4 weeks, and they usually have about their full roster, a chance to be able to get healthy. And to me, that's a little bit more indicative than, trying to figure out, if the 7th best team in the SEC was as good as the 4th best team in the Big Ten or whatever the case may be. We play the results, though. I kind of hate that. To me, I thought the SEC had more depth in the regular season than the Big Ten, just by virtue of having, 10 different teams in the top 25, and the Big Ten had 4 or 5 or something. That number was really low for the Big Ten, at least in the playoff poll. So I think that, you can kind of twist it any way you want, and Lord knows Big Ten fans will if it ends up being a Michigan-Ohio State national championship.
Wouldn't that be fun, though? I'd be all for a Michigan Ohio State championship. I think Georgia's still the best team out there, though.
Yeah, I agree. It would be fun. And look, I mean, there's something to be said for it. And Greg Sankey spoke about this at last year's national championship and the need for playoff expansion to get the sport that more popular outside of the region. Because, yeah, I think a lot of people watched that Alabama-Georgia game last year. And, yeah, you might have been entertained by it, but did you have a rooting interest? Was it appointment viewing for those outside of the SEC? For the casual college football fan? Probably not. And they're probably thinking, this is the same old. And, I think there's something to be said for having a different conference kind of have this moment, because those have been so few and far between. I mean, you can poke holes in every other conference besides the SEC. I mean, the SEC is 12-3 in playoff games that aren't against each other. Right? There's a reason why we talk about the SEC in such a different way. And some say, oh, it's biased, it's whatever. It's like, no, it's because they get on this stage and they win football games. It's pretty simple. And outside of Clemson, I mean, it's been few and far between outside of the SEC. So there is something to be said for it. It would be something that would gravitate the college football landscape. There's no question about it. Definitely more than a rematch of Georgia and Michigan. But, yeah, I mean, until one of these Big Ten teams can actually break through and beat an SEC team in the playoff for the first time since 2014, I guess I just won't be holding my breath on that.
Well, we got an SEC Bowl game on Saturday. Bowl season starts Friday. The Vegas Bowl, Florida, Oregon State, Saturday. I saw Oregon State just locked up Jonathan Smith to a long-term contract. They're ranked 14th. Does Florida even know who their quarterback is going to be?
If there's ever a time, look, Arkansas fans know this all too well. Like, sometimes you just got to decide we're running wild hog. And they wouldn't call it that at Florida. They wouldn't do that. But they've got a couple of stud tailbacks in Montrell Johnson and Trevor Etienne, the brother of Travis Etienne. They could just do that all day, and I would have no problem with it whatsoever. I think that their quarterback situation is looking dire right now. Like, it's really, really bad. And so, yeah, I mean, you look at a game like this, and you're kind of wondering, man, is this going to be like what LSU was in the bowl game last year, where LSU had 39 scholarship players in that game, and they had a wide receiver playing quarterback? Florida could have some similar vibes to it, and we'll kind of wait and see what exactly Billy Napier announces for the quarterback and how all that's going to look. But, yeah, against an Oregon State team that's been really good this year and just beat Oregon, had that nice comeback. Jonathan Smith, man, what a coach he's turned out to be. You could make a case that if you went back and looked at all the different coaching hires after the 2017 season in that cycle, Jonathan Smith might be the best one of all of them, which included Dan Mullen and Jimbo Fisher and Mario Cristobal and all these different guys. Jonathan Smith has become one of the better coaches in college football. So good to see that Oregon State locked him up, and maybe should have agreed to a contract after he beats Florida convincingly in a bowl game.
It's a good plan. Connor, appreciate you, man. We'll revisit with you next week, all right?
Sounds good. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Connor.
You got it. Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South, who did a lengthy chat with Matt Jones last week. The two of you guys together, that'd be a fun conversation to be in on.
It was cool.
It was cool. There's a little smile on his face. Brought to you by The Fence Man. If you own a business that needs more security or you just want it to look better and have more curb appeal, a new fence from The Fence Man does it all for you. They've been in business more than 40 years. Custom installing all types of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. There's also 18-month same as cash financing at The Fence Man. Call them at 479-782-3936. The Fence Man ain't afraid of no work. And halftime coming right back.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe. And football is in the air, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, we'll go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at betsaracen.com.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partners. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out on the web at artriallawyers.com.
Catch your wife kissing Santa Claus, whose real name is Bobby from down the street? Want to know your rights in a divorce, custody, child support case? I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Call me today to discuss your options. Start the new year off with a new lease on life for you, and let Santa have her. Mock Legal Solutions, 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
Wow! Mommy's kissing Santa Claus!
Want to save some cash on a quality pre-owned vehicle this holiday season? Then come see Joe at the Crane Used Car Super Center. When it comes to holiday savings, Joe knows. Joe and his team are here to save you money when you buy with zero down and get up to $500 cash back. Plus, you get the Crane Commitment with a 100-year, 100,000-mile warranty. No one does holiday deals better than the Crane Used Car Super Center because Joe knows. U.S. Highway 71 in Fort Smith.
When it comes to your vehicle dent repairs, you want a local professional that you can trust. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is your place. Michael, his family, and team have been in the community for over 30 years and are the best in the business. When all the other pop-up hail damage places have packed up and left town, Littleton's is still here taking care of your vehicle every day. Stay local. Stay with the best. Stay with the name you know and trust. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair. Highway 112 off I-540 in Pecola.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Maybe somewhere near the back, where the bouncers won't attack. I think the world's about to end. I don't need your love, I just need a friend.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Just need to talk to you for a second.
Heard a couple things to update on. The Austin Police Department released their booking report of Chris Beard from overnight. And this is what it says. At approximately 12:15 a.m., the APD received a 911 call for a disturbance. The caller reported the disturbance was no longer ongoing. One of the individuals had left the house. Officers responded, located a woman who stated she'd been assaulted and strangled by Christopher Michael Beard. He was booked into Travis County Jail, charged with assault by strangulation, suffocation, family violence, a third-degree felony. So more details coming out, and that includes his booking photo. And so more details from something that was really just started to get reported about 4 hours ago. Something that was reported on last week as a might happen, might actually be happening. Dowell Loggins is leaving Arkansas to fill the offensive coordinator position at South Carolina. There are numerous media organizations that are reporting this now as a fact. 24/7 Sports has it, Pig Trail Nation. So, and we also kind of, if there's an expectation or not, I don't know, but Michael Scherer, linebackers coach, he coached under Barry Odom, played for him too. It would make a lot of sense if he joins Odom at UNLV, presumably with a step up in responsibilities and title. That opening hasn't been created yet. There's a chance it can happen. So now you're looking for a defensive coordinator, tight ends coach, and maybe a linebackers coach too. But the other aspect of this too is congratulations to Dowell Loggins.
Great hire by South Carolina. It's a good. They're winning the offseason too. That's a good get for them. Good guy, loves ball, loves young men, like a great leader of young men. They couldn't have done any better. Good for them. Good for Dow.
So, he went, remember, he was an analyst for his first college job at Penn State. Now 2 years at Arkansas as a tight ends coach. It really took him, he's got the background of an OC in the NFL, but it didn't take him very long to rise to the same position in college. Dowell well. You think he's maybe looking eventually to become a head coach in college?
I think he loves ball. He loves the process. He loves being around young people, and he has so many good qualities and traits, and I think that's what he's born to do. And so I think he can do anything in the coaching game that he wants to do. And yeah, if he wants to be a head coach, I wouldn't. If he wants to stay in the SEC, who's saying he couldn't be a head coach somewhere? But I'd want to stay in the SEC as well. So, I think that's a great move all around for everybody. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him stay at Arkansas, but you got to do what you got to do. Maybe one day he comes back. You never know.
It's a good point. The allure of home never really does wash off, does it?
Yeah, he's a Razorback.
Hopefully the tight end commits do stick at Arkansas, because he's got 3 of them committed. Early signing period's coming up. What is it? I think it's in a little more than a week for a couple of days. So that's
he gets it. That's the thing, Phil. One of those guys that gets it and can relate to the players. It's just not only the X's and O's, which he knows, but the psychology part about it. And that's what you're missing. You're not that other coaches aren't good at it too, but that's just one of the being with Coach Nutt, being with John Fox, Coach Fisher, Tennessee Titans, longtime coach, being around some of the people that he's in, he really gets it. The players really, really like him.
All right. Where did you see in the San Francisco and Tampa game? This is amazing. Mr. Irrelevant beats the GOAT. Brady was terrible yesterday. I know. Congrats to Dre Greenlaw for the interception. 35-0 was what they got up.
They switched the game, Phil. I was watching it. I was flipping through some channels, and then the scoring. So I flipped channels and I flipped back, and they're like, "Yeah, we ain't even watching it today."
Of course, Purdy is, pressed into playing duty because of all the injuries over there at San Francisco. But he was terrific yesterday. He was the 262nd pick. in the draft last year. Mr. Irrelevant, the very last player selected. But he might have had the best debut of any of the quarterbacks that were drafted ahead of him. There were 8 quarterbacks drafted ahead of Purdy. Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, Matt Corral, Bailey Zapp. Zapp actually had himself a couple of good games debuting while Jones was hurt in New England. Sam Howell, Chris Oladokun, I don't even think made the Steelers. They drafted 2 quarterbacks, and the jury's still way out on Kenny Pickett, who unfortunately suffered a concussion yesterday. Skylar Thompson went to Miami out of Kansas State, and then Brock Purdy, the pride of Iowa State.
They used to do a parade, Phil, for the Mr. Irrelevant. Every year, I forget what town it was in, but that's pretty cool, man. It's an honor to get drafted, and that's pretty. I mean, there's 262 spots, right? And not everybody makes it.
I went back and looked at your year in the draft, Matt. Mr. Irrelevant never played in the NFL. Andy Stokes, a tight end from William Penn, and I don't even know. I'm going to assume that's in Pennsylvania, just because it would make a heck of a lot of sense. Let's see. Nick Smith has been honored as the SEC Co-Freshman of the Week. Eyes are rolling all
They're all freshmen, right?
Audience when they hear that. You mean on the Arkansas team?
On all the basketball, the whole basketball landscape. I thought every team has 3 or 4 freshmen.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Alabama's Noah Clowney also shares the award with him.
Oh, wow, that's a gangster name. Yeah.
Noah Clowney?
Noah Clowney, I like it.
I've seen some Clowneys at Ole Miss. They had a couple. They had a guy named Demon Clowney.
You had a Jadeveon Clowney at South Carolina. Yeah.
That's right. And by the way, Jordan Walsh is going to be on Eric Musselman Live tonight.
Had a game, didn't he? He looked good, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, he looked tough, looked athletic.
I was impressed with every aspect of his game. The 3-point shot, too. Like, I thought maybe he's a little raw as an offensive player, but I don't think he looked raw against Oklahoma.
Well, Phil, I think in high school he was so athletic that he could get to the rim and do whatever he wanted, and now he's having to learn how to be a basketball player, not just an athlete, and that's what you're seeing him do. And the 4 spot's going to be the best spot for him, man. Like, he doesn't have to handle the ball as much. He's gonna kind of strengthen him up. He's going to toughen him up, and he's tough and athletic. But he'll be quicker than a lot of 4s, and he's just as athletic as anybody out there. And I think that's what we're seeing right in front of our eyes, Phil, is that he was in high school just running, dunking, and being an athlete, and now he's learning how to be a basketball player.
Well, it looks like he can do it all, really. And honestly, like the 3 freshmen that are getting all the playing time in Black and Smith and Walsh, I think Smith is the most advanced of the 3 offensively. Maybe Black has the best all-around game potentially. His ability to pass. He's a rebounder. He's a defender. And I think Walsh might be a little stronger on the defensive end. And I think all 3 of them, and look, they're young and they're tall Walsh even looks like a guard. I know we call him a forward and he's playing at the 4, but I think he's a swingman. And kind of he's
a combo, but he has to be the 4 on this team.
He has to on this team right now.
Right, yeah, because you look at our other 3 guards, Devo being that 4th guard. I mean, he's not better than Devo at that 4th, being the 4th guard right there. So the good thing is, right. If somebody gets a little foul trouble, he can move around and adjust. He's one of those interchangeable players.
And it's 7:00 tonight. Eric Musselman Live right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Chuck, Matt Zimmerman, of course, on the show with Muss and Jordan Walsh featured, so that's certainly worth your time. All right, we're going to wrap halftime up, so stay with us. Things coming to a close after this.
Ho, ho, ho. Who's your Santa, Fort Smith? Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and I'm tired of bad Secret Santa gifts. So this year, I'm everyone's not-so-secret Santa. Bring me your old ride, and I'll give you up to $4,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value. That's a whole lot more for your trade. So this season, don't exchange gifts. Exchange your old ride for something nicer and newer from our huge selection of Rath road-ready vehicles, and you could get up to $4,000 more than it's worth. Keeping the car you have? Let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Plus, check out our inflation-beating Meineke vehicle service contracts and prepaid maintenance products. They make great stocking stuffers. So let me be your not-so-secret Santa, and you could get up to $4,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value for your old ride. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters.
Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
It's time to call the Hogs in Memphis, Tennessee. For the 3rd consecutive season, Coach Sam Pittman and the Razorbacks are bowl eligible, and they'll be facing off against Kansas in the 64th Annual Liberty Bowl just beyond state lines in Memphis. Kickoff is set for Wednesday, December 28th at 4:30 p.m. Secure your seats now and cheer on the Hogs by visiting libertybowl.org.
Flu season is here, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has flu shots available now to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store still has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 to schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue, behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Feels good to shake a hand and hug a friend.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, we'll have the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast coming out shortly. Anything you missed will be right there, thanks to the one and only Matty T. Ruskin and Zach take you from 2 until 7, and that's when Eric Musselman Live is on the air. And we're back with you tomorrow. Let's see, a couple things. So here's my lunch today, guys. Nice ice-cold glass of squirt for the colonoscopy prep day.
Nice.
Yeah, at least it tastes like something. At least I'll get some sugar. It's not like a.
Is it the Mexican squirt, or did you go with the American?
Good old-fashioned American squirt. I did not see the option of the Mexican
That's
squirt.
the way to go. That cane sugar instead of the high fructose corn syrup or whatever.
Did you pick that drink today based on the name and it kind of could associate with
all
what
worked
you've got
together?
going on?
I don't even know what you mean there, Maddie.
Squirt.
Not one bit. Chuckle, chuckle, chuckle. Yeah, could have done some apple juice, white grape juice. The thing is they tell you got to pick.
They're color specific, huh?
Yeah, you can't have anything red or anything purple. You can have all the popsicles you want.
Just not
I want
the good
a
ones.
grape popsicle. That's what I want today. I want a grape or cherry popsicle. It's my favorite flavors for popsicles. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting show, though. I guess it'll be. Maybe
I'm a little nervous about it.
You are? You want to go on a 7-second delay tomorrow?
We may need to.
We'll be all right.
those
You
who-
got
for
we'll be all right.
For those who joined us late, I got a colonoscopy tomorrow, so I'm today's the prep day. 45 years old, you got to take care of that, get that cancer of the colon taken care of before it ever happens. When you turn 45, you need to do that. But I got this procedure tomorrow at 9 a.m. I did not take tomorrow off, so at 11 o'clock, I don't know. I guess it's wait and see. Free radio, live radio, guys, is magic. It's always magic, especially when the host was put under for some sort of a procedure 2 hours before the show started.
Now,
His chicken broth will work too.
So Phil, that Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther, he was 43 and had colon cancer.
Thank you. Thanks for.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just pointing, because they say the age 45, but like Phil mentioned earlier, he has a history of it in his family. So.
Well, you're 40, right, Matt? You got it.
We'll be 40. Me and Matty T both
I
be
think
40
I got
next
about,
year.
50 something days until I turn 40, and then yours is in April, right, Matt?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good. We can have a whole big birthday party for you guys. Well. And then I was going to bring up the quail eggs that my son asked me to buy for him last week. But right now I don't really know if I feel like talking about food very much.
Do those sound appetizing right now?
No, they don't sound appetizing. But as of right now, I'd eat anything, to be quite honest, because it's going on. This is about 5 hours after I would have usually eaten. My mood, I've kept my mood up. I'm pretty happy about that. I don't know how I pulled that off. Because I thought I'd be a whiny little bitch during the show, but I wasn't.
You were great. Then you got to run some errands this afternoon, so that keep your mind busy a little bit, and then next thing you know, you'll be laying in bed.
Oh, you know what's going to happen. I'm going to go pick Gabe up at school, and the first thing he's going to tell me is that he wants a snack, and be like, "Yeah, no kidding."
Something
You and
really
me both.
something really fragrant.
Got some quail eggs at home for you.
He wanted to grow up. Yeah, he's got quail eggs. He's got spicy jalapeno pickled quail eggs that he made me buy inside the refrigerator. I'd be like, you know what, bud? Come on in and have every one of those, please. Because I'm not eating them, not even after I'm allowed to eat again.
Hatchets and quail eggs is what your son is asking.
Yes.
Well,
guys,
good luck tomorrow.
Great to be back with you guys today for a Monday halftime. And again, tomorrow is going to be a little bit of an experiment for us, but I think we'll be just fine. Thanks to our calls and our texters. Thanks to Mike Irwin and Connor O'Gara as well. And now for Matt Jones and Matt Travis, I'm Phil. Have a great rest of your day. Now get up, get out, and get better.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best